We need volume.
It is?
We need volume.
If we could please stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance before we get started? No.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. To Richard Hall Jr., a resident of the town of Sangerville in County of Piscataqua, State of Maine. Greetings. You can't hear me?
That mic is not.
How's this? No? You still can't hear me? How's this?
Wait a minute. Sam's gonna turn you up.
Wow, you got a different temperature from out there.
Buddy.
Ow. How's this? No? Still no? Is that better? Hi. Any better?
Well, it's funny because I want to hear it. They said,
All the way?
stand back. Wow. I didn't even hear it in there.
I'll just go ahead and say.
Technical difficulties. How's that? No? Still can't hear me?
It's all the way out.
It's working. I mean, it's working.
Yeah, it's like the mic itself isn't working.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Better. I found something.
Better? Okay. In the name of the state of Maine, you are hereby required to notify and warn inhabitants of the town of Sangerville in County of Piscataqua, state of Maine, qualified to vote in town affairs, to assemble at the Grace Bible Community Room, 40 Dowdy Hill Road on May 4th, 2024, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then and there to act on the articles to wit. We'll dispense with reading of the articles. This warrant was signed by the Board of Selectmen on the 25th of April, 2024. To the registered voters the registrar of voters will be available at the Sangerville Town Office May 3rd, 2024 to correct voting lists. Pursuant to the within warrant, I have notified and warned the inhabitants of the town of Sangerville qualified therein expressed to be at the time and the place and for the purpose therein named by posting this day an attested copy of the within warrant at the following places: the Sangerville Town Office, the Sangerville website, and the R&D Emporium. The very first article is to choose a moderator to preside at the said meeting.
I nominate Paul Davis.
Okay, we have a nomination and a motion for Paul Davis. Do we have any other nominations? We have someone way down back?
Paul Davis,
Okay, all right. Do I have a motion to cease nominations?
Motion to cease.
Motion to cease. Okay, bring any ballot?
One call off.
Any color. Anybody?
Mostly, yeah.
No, we were just talking about our vote. I'm going to get a couple more votes because I want to bring one to my mom and dad and one to the fire guys down in Canada.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Has everyone voted that way? Okay, we're going to close the voting. Okay, we have 4 votes for Paul Davis.
Right.
Thank you very much, everybody. I don't know how many years it's been that I've done this, but this year I'm going to appoint a deputy to serve with me. And I asked Representative Steve Foster if he would come up here and be sworn in with me. He used to live in a good town. He lives in Dexter now.
Sorry.
I saw papers. Do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of this state, so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof, so help me God. I solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my ability the duties incumbent upon me as moderator of this meeting, according to the Constitution and laws of this state, so help me God.
All right, you will sign.
Okay. I, Steve Foster, hereby appointed as deputy moderator. Stephen Foster, you are hereby appointed as deputy moderator for this meeting in conduct of the Scientific Now Union being held May 4th, 2022. Your office ends on notice from me, but in the event when the meeting is adjourned, sign it out. You will report on this report. Please report to your office.
All right, you sign.
Sign it down. Sign it down.
You know?
There you go.
No.
Good afternoon, everybody. I thought about this meeting quite a bit. I know there's emotional feelings and there's people that their nerves might be a little on edge and everything. But we want to leave here today good friends and neighbors. We don't want to have a lot of name calling or anything like that. I'm going to run this meeting, and I expect people to be courteous, to be civil with each other. My wife's probably going to not want me to tell this little story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. A few years ago, I was the leader of the Republicans in the state Senate. And my friend Mike Brennan from Portland was the leader of the Democrats. And we had a lot of disagreements, to say the least. But we always would go to dinner afterwards. And when I left the Senate, and he left the same day, I'd been to a yard sale, Patty and I had been, and I found a magazine about President Kennedy. So when we left, I stood up on the floor of the Senate, and I presented him the magazine and thanked him for his friendship. But I told him, at the yard sale, they wanted $3 for it, but I was a good Republican and got it for $2. Okay, we will use the main moderator's manual here today. That's the second article. I have a updated copy from 2021, and unless anybody objects to using that, I will say that that is a vote. Is there any objection? Okay. To ascertain if non-resident speakers are present and whether or not inhabitants wish to call upon them to be heard. Well, Mr. Foster's a non-resident, so I'd like a motion to allow him to speak.
So moved. So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? You're in, Steve. Article 4, to elect one selectman, assessor, and overseer of the poor for a period of 3-year term and to fix the compensation. We have nominations.
I'd like to nominate Jeff Peters.
We have nominations, Jeff Peters. We have a second. Other nominations.
I'd like to nominate Mike Mark.
We have a nomination, Mike Rock. We have a second. We have a second. Any other nominations? Hearing and seeing none, I would entertain a motion for nominations to cease.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the nomination ceasing. All those opposed? It's a vote. Bring your ballots forward for either Jeff Peters or Mike Watt.
What color?
Any color.
Any color.
Oh.
Right on.
I'm gonna go down.
I'm not sure I've been certain for years.
What do you want? That's what I'm looking for. You want to do it?
I'll do it. But I'd like
But I mean,
to.
if he doesn't want to do it,
I will do it.
I'm telling you, I'm on the same page. From the terms, I don't know if I really-
I guess if I want to do it.
You gotta vote for yourself.
I won the class president 1 year in high school. The only guy that ran against me, he voted for me. I won my vote. I don't think he changed it. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Like another vote for it. If they vote
His
for it.
best friend Jody, and his other best friend Mike, Dale. Oh, they're gonna come around. They're gonna come around with the box. Yeah. You know, Michelle was gonna do it in an orderly fashion, like row by row by row. Like I said. Oh, I know. Well, no, see, Michelle is watching, but still, she is watching.
I should have tried it just to see.
Yeah, well, that's
Sneaky.
no, well, good point.
Anything could happen.
Every once in a while, I'll let know about
Well, I know.
Can't be as bad as
Just call me, I'll go.
that was painful.
Yeah, but we did like 3 of them.
Did you run against each other? Oh, I do it. And then
Three of us.
Yep.
You had to win
drop.
50%.
So who dropped off first? You said, okay, I'm out. You did?
Well, I kept coming. We did it twice. Both times I was those.
Oh.
But you had to win over 50%.
Right. That makes sense.
That's what happened with the Tom Carone beat me the first time I ran. And then left. Lori voted for me. And several people left because they thought it was, I voted, I'm going home now. It doesn't work that way.
Well, you know, here's the
No, I know.
I think they put a good Trump campaign. I had to see you on the same side.
I mean, I could have. Now it's
Yeah, exactly. Just, you know, minor.
I don't care.
Yeah. That's, well, that's,
That's a point.
yeah, you're right.
You'll have one, buddy. You'll make it.
We'll be fine.
Did you see the nice box that Michelle's husband made? Because she said that little box is going to be too small. So, yeah.
Mr. Rick?
Has everyone voted to leave the vote? Should we put it in the ground? There was some folks in wheelchair or something that needed to vote? Everybody voted?
Yes,
You
Michelle.
got everybody?
Wait,
No, wait a sec, Paul.
Wait, there's gonna somebody?
Yeah, I think she wanted to vote.
we have people that are.
No, I think she's all set now. Sorry about that.
Okay, we all set? Everybody voted? Does anybody else? Then we'll vote the vote. And ask the clerk to count the ballots.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Rick Howell here? Well, thank him for building that ballot box for us. Where is it? He ain't done it. Where's Rick Howell? Where is it? Right. Okay, all that counting.
No kidding.
Let's move along, and, we need to set the selectmen's stipend, it's been at $800, I'll entertain a motion for that. Somebody wants to move the $800 to the selectmen?
Make motion to approve as read.
Why did they get, hey, ho, 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 ho.
Hey, no.
I want to speak, let them speak. I pay taxes here too.
They've been paid $800 for years.
Yeah,
It's been a
well,
long
things will
time.
change, it's gonna change.
Well, something else, will somebody make a motion to accept it?
Motion to accept.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion, now you wish to speak?
Yeah. Why are they getting $800 a year when they cut everybody else back the $10 a call? Why don't they get their $10 a call? Every time they do a monthly meeting, do $10. So we gotta cut all the money out around here in this town. Everybody needs to cut out the money. Put the money towards the roads and do something worth putting the money towards, not your pocket. It's only fair.
Hey, don't you interrupt. I have the sheriff here, and I will have you people removed. And I mean it. Don't you interrupt me, interrupt the speaker again. We're going to be civil here today. Any other discussion on the $800? Is there any other discussion? Anybody? If you favor giving the next select man $800, please raise your hands. Okay? If you oppose it, raise your hands. It's a vote. We need to elect one school board member for a 3-year term.
I nominate Mindy Dell.
We have a nomination of James Bell. Second, do we have other nominations?
Danny Gray.
Who-
Danny Gray.
Dana Gray?
Danielle.
Daniel Gray. We have a second? We have a second. Any other nominations? Hearing and seeing none, I would entertain a motion for nominations to cease.
Nomination cease.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Hall. Yeah, certainly. Ms. Gray, that's Jimmy Bell, and Ms. Gray is right over there. So, they're going to run against each other. I will tell you, this is for this election here, but there is also a vacancy on the school board. So whoever wins today might possibly get appointed. So,
Mr. Council.
Okay, then. You're not much vote now, so. Well, hopefully.
Well, it's going to happen already because reading unless it's so. True, and then maybe count.
It's visually.
Right, but if it's close, then yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Oh, true. What are we doing? What's this? Okay.
There's only two running, we have to get 50%. Plus one. Whoever wins, that's get 50% plus one. And the school board is the same way. School board also requires a written ballot. The sanitary is the government.
You can check that, Michelle.
I love this.
No one ever.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Right, I love this. It's okay. Every time. $10, right?
Right.
$10.
We make a lot.
$10. I'm gonna
Recall.
$10. They can pay us a lot more money. Right?
Yes, they would.
Right? If we at every call we got $50
School board does have a
Danny makes more money than because she's on water. She's on. Well, that's the other thing.
They could have been. Which I was thinking.
Okay, folks, I have the vote. And it is this. Jeffrey Peters, 169. Michael Lark, 24. No applause. I want to thank Mike Lark for his 9 years.
Congratulations, Jeff. Thank you, David Paul. Appreciate it.
You served us for 9 years.
Yep.
And I appreciate it. I know
Thank you.
what public service is. Very well.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, we have two people running the school board, Ms. Gray and Jimmy Bell. So bring in your ballots, either Bell or Gray.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I mean,
No, it is what it is. I mean, you know what? What are you gonna do? Oh, absolutely. I mean, Danny's on, she'll tell me all the subcommittees she's on, and she's been on them forever to get up to speed.
If they lose her off school board, this town's screwed.
Oh.
She's the only one telling the guy.
Yeah, right. Hey, how do you spell Danny? D-A-N and
they'll do it in a bit.
G-R.
Yeah, great worked. Actually, there's no rush. They can work it out.
D-A-N-N-Y. It is. You now have a ticket to the golf course.
That's true.
Hi, good.
Again, thank you, Mike, for all of your
Appreciate it.
time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You should try it sometime.
Yeah.
$800 maybe.
No,
And I
it's
wasn't
not
gonna
about
get
the money.
into it, but Mike and I have been talking, and you guys are both, it needs to be bumped up to 12, 15.
Well, it's interesting because other towns,
They're
the stipends are
Thousands.
thousands of dollars.
So, but we're not doing it for the money, obviously.
No,
But-
not at all.
But thank you for all
Yeah,
the years.
I appreciate it.
That's very sweet.
I don't know. Well, I do know my taxes, that's why I don't.
Well, it's good that people want to be on the school board. It really is.
Jimmy has done it in the past.
He has.
Yeah. This is just
Well, that's what Danny thought, to run it, failed.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah. Well, Danny said that, and I was talking to her, and she said, you know, she told me, she's like, on 4 subcommittees, the 4 committees. Like,
she's on negotiations.
yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't want to negotiate with Danny.
We have to find out what her next meeting is. We have to ask her for her next meeting.
Well, we're meeting Wednesday. We're not meeting after this.
You're not meeting after
No,
this?
and the reason is because I didn't know how long it was going to run.
Yeah, that's true.
I just thought, you know what? And then
So you're gonna meet
and we're
Monday?
gonna do Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Because we're going to Boston tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll be back.
But you're gonna appoint Danny then?
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
the-
so even if she doesn't get a role appointment.
Yeah, because you gotta let us know.
Yeah.
We just gotta get arranged for the next meeting.
We do it after.
We'll just ask her afterwards. If her next
Oh, I gotta go vote.
Have all heard the wish to vote? Has everyone started the wish to vote?
Hang
We're
on.
closed? Oh, okay, yeah, we still got on.
Who's the sanitary?
You wish to vote?
Where's Paul?
Who's that?
Yeah.
How's that? That okay? All right. Okay.
Well,
Everyone voted.
clapping and everything.
I'll close the voting. Rick Hall, where'd you go? He built this ballot box for the town. I just wanted to thank you.
It was up back.
It was up back. There he is, right. Stand up, Rick. Thank Rick Hall. Okay, while they're counting, we'll move along to elect one sanitary district trustee for a 3-year term. Do I have nominations?
Nominate Rick Hall.
We have the nomination of Rick Hall. We have a second. Do we have any other nominations? I would entertain a motion that nominations cease.
Nomination cease.
We have a second? Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All those that would like to see Rick Hall in the sanitary district, raise your hand. All those that don't want to see him on it, raise your hand. Congratulations, Rick. May all your elections go that easy. Trust me. I know a little bit about elections. All right. Article 5. To see if the town will set a date when taxes on real estate and personal property shall be due and payable, and set a rate of interest to be charged on taxes unpaid after said date. Recommended due date is August 31st, 2024. The maximum allowed is 8.5% for Title 36 MRSA, Section 5054A. And it's recommended by the Select Board, 8.5% is charged after August 31st, 2024 on unpaid taxes. Can we have a motion? Motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Anybody at all? If you favor the article as I read it, please raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hand. To vote. Article 6. To see if the town will authorize prepayment of real estate and personal property taxes and pay no interest thereon. Title 36, MRSA 36, Section 506. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion. And seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? It's a vote. Article 7, to see if the town, in accordance with Title 36, MRSA, Section 506A, will vote that a taxpayer who pays an amount in excess of that finally assessed on April 1st, 2024, shall be repaid the amount of the overpayment plus interest from the date of overpayment at a rate of 2%. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second? Discussion? I understand this, you pay your taxes early, you get 2% back. Yes.
That's 2% annual. Are you usually make it clarified?
2% and for your total tax, yes. Any other discussion? If you favor Article 7, as I read it, please raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hand. It's a vote. Article 8, to see if the town will allow a discount of 2% on taxes paid in full before 5 p.m. on July 31st, 2024, and vote to allow for payments received on taxes to be applied to the taxpayer's oldest outstanding tax bill. We have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second? Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? It's a vote. Article 9, to see if the town will authorize the select board on behalf of the town to sell cemetery lots. 30% of the revenue shall be put into the perpetual care trust fund account. We have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Anybody? If you favor Article 9 as I read it, please raise your hand. If you oppose it, raise your hand. Okay, we have a vote for the school board. Jimmy Bell got 112 votes, and Deanna Gray got 21. Jimmy Bell has been elected. Thank you, Ms. Gray, for running. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Jimmy. Item 10, to see if the town will authorize the select board on behalf of the town to sell and dispose of real estate and personal property acquired by the town for non-payment of taxes thereon. The revenue received from tax-acquired property shall be put into the general fund on such terms as they deem advisable and to execute quitclaim deeds for such property. We have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second? Discussion?
I just have a question.
Okay.
In previous years, that same article included that they would pay the back taxes first before it went into the general fund. I looked back at 5 different years, and it was like that always. I just wondered why it was deleted out of this one.
I think it was in Article 8, says, allow for payments received on taxes to be applied to the taxpayer's oldest outstanding bill.
Did I take care of that then?
Yeah, I think so. Am I correct on that?
No, it doesn't.
No?
Different subject.
Okay.
Repossession versus
Anybody
payment.
here want to speak to that?
It's still the same thing, you pay taxes first.
Right. I would ask, well, I would ask Michelle.
In previous years, it had said after acquired property shall be used to pay back taxes and any additional revenue. And then it says the rest will be put into general fund. That's the way it's done forever.
But the taxes go into general.
Yeah, the taxes still go to general fund, it's still the same thing.
They're saying it's still the same thing.
It's just wording.
That's fine. I don't know.
Yeah. Diana Valley.
For decades, this town has done it by bid. I'd like to amend the article and say by bid.
So what you're saying is you want tax-acquired property to be put out by bid?
Should be put out, any property should be put out to bid. Yeah. To avoid any conflict of
Okay.
interest.
All right.
That's what we do.
That's an amendment. You're offering an amendment to the article.
I would second that amendment.
Okay, we have a second to the amendment now. I want to make sure I understand how this will read. To see if the town will authorize the select board on behalf of the town, and you to replace, to sell and dispose of real estate you want to put up to bid inserted there, is that right? Okay. Everyone understand that? Okay. Is there any more discussion on her amendment?
Paul,
Yes.
just to be clear, that's the process, how anything is sold. It's always put out.
It's always put out to bid, they said, that is the process.
If it's not written that way.
It's fine.
That's okay.
Well, it's gonna be if this amendment passes.
This doesn't change anything, that's all.
Okay, we have an amendment on the floor to add language, as I understand it, to authorize the selectmen on behalf of the town to put out to bid real estate and personal property acquired by the town for non-payment of taxes thereon. That's what you want, Diana? Okay. Any discussion? Any more? Yes.
I just have a comment, Paul, but as a town, we need to be very careful because right now there is a lot of discussion about what happens to that money over and above the taxes that we collect on that property, and it may have to go back to that owner. And I have not heard any part of that finalized yet, but I think we need to be very careful if we do take property back, that we know that it's correct.
I believe that it does go back to the owner.
It does.
It has.
It does.
I was in the Senate then, Governor LePage got the law changed. Yes.
Well, I was just going to reiterate what she said. Dexter got in some trouble in the court. Just what this past winter, there was an article about that they could only recoup costs incurred.
Cost and the back taxes. The rest of the money has to go back to the... I know of 2 cases where property was taken and they didn't give it back. And Governor LePage got upset and they changed the law so that if you don't pay your taxes and the community takes your property and they sell it, then they can only recoup their costs and the back taxes. The rest of the money goes back to the owner. That is as I understand the law.
That's exactly right.
And Diana's got an amendment on the floor still to add the wording out to bid. Is there any other discussion on that? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment? All those opposed? Okay, that passed. To see if the town will authorize the select board on behalf of the town to put out to bid of real estate and personal property acquired by the town for non-payment of taxes therein, the revenue received from tax-acquired property shall be put in the general fund on such terms as they deem advisable to execute quitclaim deeds for such property. To do all that, the excess money has to go back to the owner. If you favor the article, as I just read it, unless there's more discussion. You favor the article? Yes, you're right.
My question is, should that be in the wording that it goes back to the property owner?
That's the law.
Okay.
It's the state law.
Yep,
They
just
have
want
to.
to make sure.
They have no choice, they have to.
Thank you.
Anybody else? If you favor the article as I just read it, please raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hands. It's a vote. Article 11, to see if the town will authorize the municipal officers to spend only those funds necessary for the operation of the town of Sangerville during the period from January 1st, 2025 to the 2025 annual town meeting. We operate on the June 1st or June 30th calendar fiscal year, and if you don't let them spend from January 1st, July 1st, we won't be running the town. So I would accept the motion to pass this article. We have a second.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? To vote. Article 12, to see if the town will authorize its select board to apply for and accept or refuse any donations or gifts on behalf of the town. Do we have a motion? Motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? To vote. I'm sorry, did you want to ask a question, Mr. Higgins?
If the donation was in and it was for a special request, does that mean you can spend the money?
If the donation is in, does that mean you can spend the money?
So if it was
If
for
it's,
for a certain cause,
so if I gave $1,000 to the playground out there that you're running, you'd want it all to go with that. Is that what you're
if
saying?
the donor wanted to go there.
I I'm not gonna give you $1,000. Not sure I know that.
I think that's a really good point. I heard through rumors, so I don't know if this facts are true or not. The fire department did the boot drive and raised over $6,000 somewhere in there. It didn't go into the fire department fund, it just went into the general fund. And I think that I went through it 4 times and gave him $4. So if it went to the general fund, I'd like my $4 back because I never gave it to the fire department. I think it's for a specific department that we're giving it to, it should stay in that department.
Well, we've passed the article, but I think the intent is clear.
Okay.
Okay? Article 13. To see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to apply for and accept grants from private, state, and federal agencies that do not require matching funds from the town or impose contractual obligations to the town. We need a motion.
Motion.
We have a second.
Second.
Discussion. And over here.
I'd just like to know if that means that if a grant required matching funds, is that something that needs to have a special town meeting? Or does it require a special town meeting?
Yes.
Okay, it does not prevent the board from applying for a grant that requires matching funds. It's just if matching funds are necessary for the grant, it has to be a special town meeting.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, because the townspeople would have to approve that expenditure.
Any other discussion?
Which is really the last article.
Right, exactly.
Anybody?
Case in point. And the last special
Okay.
meeting.
Yes, Mr. Campbell.
As I understand, the state of Maine is appropriating $10 million, or is hoping to appropriate $10 million for restoration of historic buildings, which will be voted on in November. And if my understanding is correct, that we could apply for some of that for the town hall. It is requiring a 25% matching from the town. If that were the case, if we applied for, whatever we applied for $100,000, $200,000, that the town would have to match 25% of that if it were granted. Now, these are a couple of ifs. If the thing passes in November, which it should, and if we could qualify for that grant, which if we have a building that's historical as any, and it should qualify. But if this passes, then we would not be able to apply for that grant.
Not without a special town meeting.
Correct.
That's right.
No, we could apply for the grant, but if it was approved, we wouldn't be able to spend the match unless we had a special for the townspeople to
Yeah, that's sort
spend.
of backwards, but that's right.
Right.
I haven't read the bill. I know that the bond issue went through the legislature. $10 million. It's going to be voted on by us in November. If it passes, as I understand it, for us to apply for it, we would have to have 25% of whatever we apply for.
Yeah. That's the way I
So,
understand it.
how will that affect Article 13?
Pardon me? How does, sorry, what did you say, the last very part?
How does that affect Article 13? Does Article 13 prevent the town from applying for this money?
Depending on the amount, we have the 25%. We would have to ask for the permission from the townspeople to spend it. So and from what we've read in the past about grants, I don't know why that wouldn't allow us to apply for it. And if we got the grant, we would have to come back to the town to ask permission to spend that 25. If the townspeople denied it, then we wouldn't be able to complete the grant.
But if you had to commit in order to apply, we couldn't do it.
Right.
Correct.
Okay?
So,
If we have to commit to 25% before we can apply, then we could not do it without the town's permission.
If this fails, if this motion fails, could that prevent the town from applying?
This motion doesn't involve a commitment of funds. So this
is
really
fine.
doesn't
This
affect
is
the
fine.
scenario that he's
So if an application is put in, I'll get you just a second, okay? If an application is put in on behalf of the town, then we would have to have a special town meeting to come up with the 25% before the application could be put in, if the state requires it that way.
If the state actually requires the 25, for that commitment before applying.
Yep.
Yes.
Is that as you understand it, Diane?
Yes.
Okay, so, yes, Debbie.
Just making sure, so if there's a grant out there that does have a 25% per se, we can go ahead and get that application in without the meeting, and then if we do get the grant, then we hold the meeting to accept the grant?
Yep.
Is that how it works?
As long as the, oh, I'm sorry.
As long as the state doesn't require the money up front.
That's right.
Bingo.
There.
That's it, that's the whole thing.
Any grant that doesn't require that commitment on the front side, we can apply for.
But if it does require a commitment,
We'd have to have a special meeting.
then we'd have the meeting, then we
Yep.
could apply?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we're back. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I can't stand in front of the window, I couldn't see you very well.
If we intend to either purchase the building or build a new one, and from rumors I heard that there's some sort of grant to fund that, is that grant in motion right now?
No,
So either way, we may or may not have to pay outright for the $440,000 or less.
We're not there yet.
To fix the town office, or might have to pay for an entire new building.
the grant that we're speaking of is for historical buildings. It is not the new buildings.
Either way, it hinges on a grant, correct?
Well, they can apply for grants for the new building, but this particular bond issue that you were talking about, is historical buildings only.
We're talking about the old town office.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not done.
Okay.
How is the new building gonna be paid for?
We
Do
got
we
an
have
article
grant
in
money
here.
already in?
We answered the article yet, ma'am. There's an article in here.
But the way we vote on this might hinge on what information we have about that we might not have.
No.
No, it doesn't. This has to do with just historical buildings. Diane.
Okay. The way this article is written, this is only for grants that require absolutely no matching funds from our town. It's free money, exactly. And if we say yes to it, it allows the select board, if they were to find a grant for any purpose that does not require matching funds, they can apply for it. If it turns out there's a grant that does require matching funds, a special town meeting would have to be had for that. This is just, Article 13 is just allowing the board to apply for grants that do not require matching funds. It's nothing about anything else. So it's just, do we want them, if they spy a grant that would help the town, can they apply for it as long as it doesn't cost the town any other money? That's all that this is about.
That's something.
You understand, ma'am?
Yes.
I want to make sure. Mr. Sacks.
Can you tell me how many grants we've applied for in the year 2024?
I don't know if we have.
2024, none.
None in 2024.
2023?
2023?
Well, I don't know whether,
Fire department, I think.
oh, the fire department applied for some that we were,
You said the fire department. Yes, ma'am.
So, like, is that
Jermaine.
as part of the regular sort of list of tasks to be looking for those grants to help our town?
Yeah.
I mean, it should be voting on it.
And depending on the vote today, on other articles, they could apply for the historical grant. They'd have to have some money to do
You
it.
tell them, yes, go ahead and look for a grant. What's the follow-up that they might not last year, not this year?
oh, I didn't hear, sorry.
Can you say it again, please? Please, folks, it's hard to hear up here.
Yeah, sure. So what's the follow-through? If we say, yeah, go ahead and look for these grants, but you've applied for none last year and none this year, like, where's the accountability?
Whoa,
The fire
Just, the fire department has, we've got a cemetery that needs repair, there might be grants that we could seek to help with that.
So would you guys be able to put together like a list of possible grants that you'd be chasing, just so the town can see some action?
Right now, there is no list.
But there could be, if you created one, right?
Could be.
Yep, and that would be possible.
I just think if we're voting on this stuff, we should be able to see some like tangible action from it, that's all. Thanks.
Way back.
Yeah, yeah.
Stand up, please, it's hard to hear.
How much is in the general fund?
How much is in the general fund?
Germaine.
Point of order.
It's not germane to the article, I'm sorry. We have to stick with the article, there's nothing in this.
It's in the
Okay?
book.
Yeah, this would be.
Anybody else? Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you.
It's funny that.
Wouldn't
I
it
know.
be easier if you're gonna vote, if you're going to apply for a grant, that you have to put money up for it to begin with, is to go and get a meeting before you apply for it?
Yeah.
You would.
Yes, that's what you,
All right,
that's what you
because
got to do.
that wasn't what I was hearing. It was you apply, you find out whether you're gonna get it, and then you come to you guys. I would think you'd want to apply first, but you guys should know about it.
There may be some grants that they will have to take money. There's a real problem down here in the cemeteries, I understand.
Yes.
There's water erosion, and the graves are being disturbed, and it's gonna be fixed. So, we may be back here in 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know.
That's right.
I don't know. Any other discussion? Okay, so there's no other discussion. If you favor Article 13, please raise your hand. If you oppose Article 13, raise your hand.
Stay the whole time.
To pass. Article 14.
We're under on that.
To see if the town will allow the municipal officers to accept revenue generated from plumbing permits and to expend those funds to the licensed plumbing inspector as compensation. We have a motion? We have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Who is our licensed plumbing inspector right now?
Al Tempesta.
Al Tempesta. Okay. If there is no other, yes, ma'am.
What's the cost currently?
What does it cost for plumbing permits? It's been 44 years since I got one, I don't know. I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know, a plumbing permit?
Varies
Varies.
depending on what it is.
It varies, I guess, on what it is.
Plumbing permit is $10 per fixture, minimum $40.
Here you go.
Maximum of $20?
40.
40, maximum of 40 bucks. Okay.
No, I'm sorry, that's a minimum of $40.
Minimum
So
what?
it's $10 per fixture, minimum of $40.
I see. If you're building a house, you've got a dozen fixtures.
She's $10 a fixture.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have a question on this. Wouldn't it be cleaner just to have the plumber paid from general funds and not attached to the inspections that come in that he's inspecting? Well, a cleaner article.
Well, it might be cleaner, but that would be increased in the article. We can't increase the money in the article. So we're prohibited from doing that. All right. Any other discussion? Yes.
Why do we have Tempesta or inspector?
I don't know, that's not germane to the article, I'm sorry. Do any of you care to comment on that? No, they don't want to comment, I can't
They
say.
don't want to comment on it?
I don't know. Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, if you favor Article 14 as it's written and as I read it, please raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hands. It passed. Sorry, Katina. Sorry. Article 50, shall the town vote to give the monies in the amount of $820.88 raised from the state snowmobile registration received in 2024 to the Four Winds Snowmobile Club. Can we have a motion? Motion. We have a second? Second. We didn't get to do it much this year. Is there any discussion? Hearing seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Vote. Article 16. To see if the town vote to allow the municipal officers to expend revenue from the overlay as necessary to account for practical differences in computing the tax rate, abatements, and if any, and the 2% discount for taxes paid in full before 5 p.m. July 31st, 2024. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Discussion. Anybody? Hearing and seeing none, if you favor the articles I read it, please raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hand. It's a vote. Article 17, shall the town vote to accept any and all funds from the state of Maine under the following categories: municipal revenue sharing, snowmobile registration money reimbursement, tree growth reimbursement, general assistance reimbursement, local road assistance and excise reimbursement, homestead and veterans exemptions, state and federal grants, state aid to education and other funds not included in terms above. These proposed revenues are used to help reduce the amount of taxes for each taxpayer. And this is the select board recommends a yes vote. Do we have a motion? Motion. Do we have a second? Second. Discussion? Yes, Diana Bauer.
I have a three-part question.
3 parts.
Did we have $79,000 worth of in tree growth penalties this year? If you look on the revenue page.
Diana, I hate to ask you, would you stand up, please? Because a lot of people over here can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Let's take it out. Yeah, there was. I think Kenny took it.
I'm sorry. I think you did that, but
If you look on the revenue page. What number?
That's fair.
Right, they have to pay the town. That penalty would be per acre.
what page they're talking about? You know?
It says we had, in 2023 was proposed to 15,000. We actually had 94,496. Was that all tree growth penalty?
There were quite a number of them this year. Yep.
And then, look, general assistance reimbursement, that's blank. We didn't receive anything from the state?
I guess not, nope.
Apparently not. What they're saying.
Didn't?
No.
And the third one, why did the selectmen apply for local road assistance this year, as we always have done in the past? I didn't see that anywhere.
No.
You didn't apply?
Well, I mean, should I answer the town manager? We have a town manager.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the raise line.
Right, that's, our town manager.
Yeah, Jody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I can speak loud enough.
Yeah.
The town manager that we had, when it was time to apply for that, did not apply.
So blame it her.
No, not her.
No?
So that was 34,000 last year, we could have gotten this year.
Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
The selectmen's job to oversee the town manager, so I would select him.
Very hard to hear you.
Jermaine, yeah, Jermaine.
What's that?
He's not talking about the article.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have to stay with the article. Okay?
Do we know about?
Any other discussion?
It's not,
What are the other funds? Any other funds, you know of?
nope.
No.
None that they know of. Why is it listed?
Always has been. It's the way, it's the way Michelle listed it.
Because they don't want
It
to.
always has been.
Just what's on the list.
Sorry. Yes.
Boy, we got
Friday?
They have to be able to accept the funds.
To accept any funds that come along, they have to have it in there.
Thank you, Brody.
Again, I want to give them that $1,000. I'm not gonna. I did.
I know.
Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, if you favor the article as it's written here, would you please raise your hand? If you oppose it, raise your hand. It's a vote. Article 18, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to use up to $15,000 from undesignated revenue in the event of overdrafts, unforeseen events, or emergencies. Any use of this contingency arrangement must be voted on at a select board meeting, and the expenditures will be will be listed in the subsequent town report. Transfers of undesignated revenue in excess of $15,000 must be authorized by a vote of a special town meeting. And the recommendation from the select board, $15,000. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Discussion. Yes, sir.
I got a question. What's this $15,000 that's just laying around anywhere? I mean, the money that you guys tax us is supposed to go to, you know, we used to have, you know, a salt pile. It all used to be broken down into, you know, winter, salt, you know, building maintenance, you name it. So where's this $15,000 that's just gonna come, you know, poof out of the wind?
It comes out of the general fund, it doesn't.
Yeah.
The $15,000, they say, is coming out of the general fund.
What's the general fund?
No.
It's money.
The general fund is the money that they operate on every day.
And nobody can see it, right?
Pardon me?
Nobody can see it, right?
Nobody
How
can
much
see
is in
it?
there?
Jermaine.
It's germane, folks. Let's stick with the article, okay?
So I guess my question is everything used to be broken down where it was transparent to all the townspeople. They could see where this money was going and coming from. Now we're just saying it's coming out of the general fund.
Yeah.
And
In the book.
we're the selectmen. That's not right. It should be, the people should have the right to see that it's broken down.
There's a budget. The budget is
Okay, it's in
published.
the budget. The budget is.
The budget is published.
What page is it on?
The first page is what, 50?
What budget?
Just a minute. The first page
52.
is on page 52.
Several pages.
There's several pages of that
It's
on
all
page
broken
52.
down. All broken down.
And it's all broken down. Okay?
No, we're not.
Go right ahead.
He's the audience.
Those are line items, not a breakdown of expenses.
It does not say no general fund. I mean, it doesn't say, you know,
Okay.
I was asking, you know, saying about the general fund, it's not broken down into a line item.
Part of the article comes out of the general fund for this article. Devin.
Does the rent for the building?
Folks, please. This rule has got the floor.
I'd just like to know if the rent, that the space that we're renting for the town office right now, does that come out of this $15,000?
No, this is,
No, all that is if something happens in any bucket in the budget, if we overspend, this 15,000 is the contingency for that over expenditure. That's all it is. If we don't go over anywhere, it's not gonna get spent, it rolls over next year.
Right, and if we didn't have this article, any dollar over what's in each one of the, as Dale says, buckets, we would have to have a special meeting, a special town meeting. So this,
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Article 18. Is there any more discussion? Anybody? Yes, sir.
So maybe I didn't hear it, but, so if we go over 10 times of $14,000 every time, that's $140,000, right?
No, they can't do that. It states in the article $15,000.
yeah.
They can't do that. They can't go beyond 15,000. Yeah, it's an annual thing.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, yes.
It's 15,000.
Yes.
That's it. Any other discussion? Hearing none? Seeing none? In favor of Article 18? Please raise your hand. If you oppose Article 18, it's a vote. Article 19. To see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate for general government, not to exceed. Supposed to be $1,000 less.
$1,000 less.
Not to exceed 37,000. Yeah, it says that.
337.
337.
Okay, excuse me. $337,000, 828. They need to reduce it by $1,000. So the amount is 337,828. Money can be reduced, it can't be increased if they're in the article. This is in the article, they want to reduce it to $337,828. Everybody understand that? I want to make sure. Okay, can I have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second? Discussion. Yeah.
I just have a couple of clarifications on the understanding of that. Should we say something about the loose pages to make sure that we understand how this is all working too? But my first question is under wages and salaries. It's gone up about double.
Can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Right, so my first question is the very first line of the budget, that we're going up on wages and salaries, which does not include the town managers, which is the last line of that section, to $80,000. Just to, I have a clarification, like the doubling almost there.
Over double.
I just don't understand.
The clerk was actually in the town, it was split before. We had Michelle.
The clerk's job was actually under the town manager's job, so we've actually added a person in the town office now. So you got a full-time treasurer, and now you got almost a full-time clerk also in the office. So that upped that price.
And then the other clarification is on the town hall maintenance and tech fees. We've gone from 1,000 to 15,000.
Can you speak up, please?
I said under the town office, maintenance and tech fees at the very bottom of page 50.
Bring the mic forward.
I can't.
I know what she's asking.
Come right over here, young lady.
So, on page 52, at the very bottom of the page, we've gone from 1,000 in tech fees to 15,000.
Okay.
And I'm just questioning why. I'm not arguing, just questioning so we can have it clarified.
We just make sure we're good.
So the $15,640 number, we had S.J. Rollins come in, we had some technical issues with the computer. What this $15,640 is going to do is to update the computer system that's in the town office now. But this is like a rental fee. It's not, I'm using the wrong words, it's rental. It's gas you put in your gas tank. You're not gonna use it all today. So, and we're probably not even gonna spend the $15,000. We're gonna pay them an upfront amount, say like $5,000. And they come in, they update your computers and keep them up to date, and we bleed off that number. That's the full number. We're not gonna use anywhere near that much.
Okay. And one more, and this is...
One more.
Well, this is just a comment, because page 53 and 54 in the book are repeat pages.
Correct.
So I just want to make sure that we have this clarified when we're looking at this, that we put the same page in twice. And then we have one news page that's not in the book that is included. So I just want to make sure the town gets this all recorded correctly.
Thank you. Yes.
I'll just say. Also, another thing that the reason for the that $15,000 is for cyber protection, which is something that all businesses are now having to address, and especially a town with all the vital information that we have in our town.
What business is?
Just a minute. Just lady here, go ahead.
So who are we receiving that cyber protection from? Do we have a contract? Have they quoted up the rate?
The gentleman speaking here is Jeff Libby. He is our current town manager.
The company that's gonna do is gonna be S.J. Rollins. They'll do all computer software. They actually sent me an email, and it went to 3 different places. So all that stuff has to be taken out.
So is that, just, I don't mean to cut you off, but just having actually worked with S.J. Rollins in the past and understanding their business model, I'm just wondering if we looked elsewhere, did we get bids, was that brought to the town, like how, because that's a really big gap in expenditure.
We did not go anyplace else. We use them in several different businesses within town. They're highly reputable. They're local, semi-local. This is their business. Also with that number, there's going to be security within the town office. A lot of times one of the girls are working by themselves. There's no cameras. There's no, if somebody should break in, there's nothing in there. Shouldn't advertise it, but.
Well, that should be part of building security.
So we're going to get that put in there too, also to protect us.
Gentleman, way up back. Raise your hand up. No? Oh, okay. Are we done? Yeah, more discussion? Yes. I'll let your daughter speak. I told your mother I was going to let you speak.
That's town manager's salary for 40 hours a week.
Salary of the town manager for 40 hours a week.
No, that town manager salary that's in there is for a full-time, 40-hour-a-week town manager. I'm just part-time. I only work 15 hours a week, that's what I get paid for, is 15 hours.
Looking for a full-time town manager?
Always.
Not currently.
Not currently, they say. Okay?
Jermaine? Yeah, it's not the article.
You can't operate on $1,000 budget for town for technology. It cannot happen. What they have for our information needs to be protected. So I just wanted them to clarify what they were using.
And yeah, I agree with you. I'm not arguing that we need it. I do have a problem with the fact that we did source beyond Esther Road. I agree with that. I agree.
This lady was head of the credit union, president of Maine Highway Credit Union, I'm quite she's familiar with that number. Is there any other
It's under $10,000.
discussion? And, yeah,
Next time the town manager speaks, could he speak into the microphone so I can?
Yes, thank you.
you hear that?
I apologize.
He apologizes. Okay. Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
Maybe I just didn't hear, on that same page 52, what was the increase in office equipment from $500 to $5,100?
That's the actual computers.
That's actual computers, he says. Okay? Any other discussion? Sure, go ahead.
Why don't we have a full-time town manager?
It doesn't go to the
It's not a topic.
Does he have another job? I don't know.
That's not-
I can't
It's not
answer that
anybody's
question.
business.
Well, ask him.
Ask him, all right? Why don't we have a full-time town manager? Please stand up. She can't, the lady said she wants to.
Oh, that's a good question. I was approached to help the town out, to do some things. I know roads, I know a bunch of stuff about roads and some businesses, and I'm just trying to help the town out. So right now, 15 hours a week, with the assistance of the staff in the office, we're getting done the things we need to get done at this point in time.
You call the town hall and you never can talk to the town manager because he's never there.
The town manager has hours, 5 days a week, correct, Jeff? From 2 to 5. So if you call between 2 and 5, Monday through Friday.
2 to 5.
2 to 5.
Boy, those are banker's hours.
This lady up here hasn't spoken yet. Go ahead. And then I'll get you this.
Is there a reason why the fire department budget is $12,500 less than it was last year?
I'm sorry, that's me. This article, we're getting to the file article, and then you can ask him, okay? Debbie?
I'd just like to know if we currently have an ad out for a full-time town manager, or we currently do.
We said, no, we don't.
We do not.
No, they do not.
Do you know when you might expect to do that?
No.
You can't hear what you say.
She asked if we currently have an ad out for a full-time town manager, and currently they do not.
This is not the forum. This is
I'm
not.
sorry.
This is,
You gotta do your article.
we're not sticking to the
No,
warrant.
well, we gotta stick to the article, the warrant article, folks, that I read for general government. Yes, ma'am.
I understand that you shut me down on the $12,500 because I specifically mentioned the fire department. My question is, why is this number $338,828 and not $12,000 higher?
It's
I think it should be higher to
$337,000.
cover that.
There's nothing to do with that.
It's a different, I mean, that's not general.
There was $5,000 for
Fire
office
department's not in
equipment,
general,
but we're
it's not in
shutting
general
the fire
government.
down for $10,000.
Go ahead. Tell me. Stand up.
The question you're asking about the fire department, it's not in the general administration budget. It's coming up, it's a different item.
Lady up back,
So
where?
that $338,000 doesn't include the fire department budget?
No. Ma'am.
I just have a question regarding the county manager salary. So the $62,400 that's proposed, that's the salary for 15 hours a week, or that's the salary potentially?
That's for full-time, right?
The number that's in there is for a full-time town manager. Should I decide to step aside, that's already budgeted in case somebody comes behind me.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Yes, sir, you have your hand up now. Stand up, please.
Sure. Are we bringing back the public works?
It's not on the.
It's not on the thing. This is the general government. Marilyn Road. We're gonna move on here in just a minute. Friday.
If we are not going to look for a full-time town manager, I don't know why you want to fully fund that line. The administration is up 92,000 over what we spent last year.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to accept the article, the general government, not to exceed $337,828. Is there further discussion?
Just to address what Bridie said, we can reduce that line, but if we do get a full-time town manager, then we will be back here for a special to vote to pay the town manager.
Gail Sussman. Okay, folks, let's let her speak.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You guys gotta stand up from now on. You want to get on the wrong side of heaven, Anyone else? Friday and then Cheryl.
It's May. You're almost halfway through the year. So even if you do, you can afford to cut that line. I think we're headed for a special town meeting anyway, but I think that like.
Okay. Cheryl and then you, sir.
Okay, my question is, for years, and we have several of them here that have been clerks and town managers, we did it for like 45,000, and now all of a sudden we have a clerk and a town manager, and went up 65,000. So why are we not using the same system we've had in the past? Yeah.
You gotta stand up.
No, just cut it. Make a motion to cut. If you want to reduce it, you can reduce it.
337,000 if you want.
Yep, let me speak.
hasn't gone up 60%. Yeah, well.
Yes, sir.
I would like to.
Stand up, please.
I'd like to amend the dollar amount on this.
There you go.
There you go.
Reduce it to 270, let me find that number.
What have you taken, how much of this effect?
279,000.
Second that.
Okay, you're offering an amendment to
An
reduce
amendment
the
to reduce-
337,000 to 79,000?
279,000,
279,000.
which is more than we actually expended for 2023.
Which is more we expended in the last year.
Yep.
Okay, and we have a second to that. Discussion on the motion. Would it be an offer, an amendment? Yes, ma'am. Stand up, please.
Sure. I understand wanting to keep your taxes low. Believe me, I pay taxes here too. But you have to give your county government, your local government, money so that they can operate. If you are not giving them money so that they can operate, then you're going to end up with more problems than what you're asking for right now. It's unfortunate, no one ever wants their taxes to go up. Everyone in this room right now is looking for some accountability, I think. But cutting the municipal budget to a point where they can't operate is not how we're going to get that accountability. I think you really need to think about what we're talking about when we're looking at these numbers.
Hold your applause, please. Okay. We have a motion on the floor to reduce the $337,828 to $279,000. Is there any more discussion on the offer of the amendment? Ms. Armstrong.
279,000 is 45,000 more than we spent last year.
Other discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to say that I've noticed in my time living here that our amenities have been cut. We have no library, we have no store,
have no
I
contract.
just would hate to see, I hear what you're saying here about not paying, we have to take
Okay, folks.
town running, but I would like, I mean, simultaneously, we're losing the amenities that we have.
Okay. Other discussion? Okay, we have a motion, offered up an amendment to the article to reduce $337,828 to $279,000. Is there any more discussion? Do you favor the amendment that has been offered? If so, raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hands. No, we're gonna count opposed. If you support the amendment, please stand up.
Wait.
If you support,
Support the amendment,
Reduce it.
reduce it to $279,000, please stand up.
Yeah.
On an antique bill. Well, what's it? You're gonna run out of money. That's all.
yep, there. Yeah, next week, 2 days.
There you go. Yeah.
Insurance doubled. Yeah, that's true. Insurance doubled. Is the recycling facility in this number?
Okay, folks, we're gonna go to ballot on this. If you favor the amendment to reduce it to $279,000, you vote yes. If you oppose, reduce it to $279,000, you vote no. Bring in your ballot. Either yes or no. Yes, approve the amendment, no, disapprove.
No, it's a negative. It's confusing because you're voting no to not reduce. Does that one right there double insurance? But you know what? The same people will waste money on, or fight to any for the land, right? That's what it is. Well, no, all that's going to happen is run out of money in the left side. But it's just, it's there.
Mike was saying that when it went out, when it went up. I want one like that. That's what I want. Is it contract services? Yes. Yeah, 10,000 miles. I know.
The insurance doubled this year.
There you go.
The idea that you can look at budget every year.
All the way around.
It'll be interesting.
With 279, I'm sure some of these other numbers, and see what we can do. Some of these,
didn't know what he was cutting out, but it's a full-time manager.
Oh, he's cutting out all this end together. So all this, is up to this, he wants this to go down to speed. What was appropriated last year. We always spent this with management, insurance, overall budget.
Have all voted to wish to vote? Have all voted to wish to vote?
They're running. I did. They're on the way.
Okay.
Jimmy Bell can't go to school.
What's that?
I don't think Jimmy Bell can go to
I
school.
was gonna ask you because his wife's a school teacher. It's just
Has everyone voted to wish to vote?
Just red.
Okay, we're going to start the voting now.
We're never going to get to this.
Everyone voted to wish to vote?
It's coming up.
That's true.
No, same here.
I had a yogurt.
I'm not staying until 5.
It's gonna be here. It's not here. It's definitely gonna be here by 5 o'clock.
No, they might.
So.
Glad you came.
So you're actually gonna have 23,000 in that reserve, correct?
Have you?
It's a 13,000.
No, that doesn't carry over. Reserves? For what? For what?
The auditor said that 13,000 is there.
Oh, yeah, the fire, for the fire. Yes,
Right.
yes. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were
So
talking
it'd
about the
be
50.
13 plus the 10.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Why do melons get married? Why do they have weddings? Melons have
But
weddings.
you guys have to appropriate, you guys have to appropriate spending that, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
They can't just go.
No.
Why do not get married? You can't vote. You want to say anything?
What? You want me to say that?
Yeah. Just from you,
This guy's got a joke on that kind of thing.
I spent all day with this guy.
It's stupid.
60, but he watching my arena, the roof.
Why do melons have weddings? Because they can't elope.
That's good.
We've had several ballots. Does anybody need more on the little slips to vote? Anybody? Raise your hand if you do.
We're all good.
Everybody's got
Everybody is going to need more.
Everybody's gonna need more here in a little while. You get your hand up here.
Oh, true. Clear on the map. I don't know. So resourceful. You were a Boy Scout, right?
What's that?
Should have split it two groups and those went that way. The A's went that way.
Actually, I'm done. Pretty close. There's nothing left for me.
I'm with you. There isn't. Other than the very last one. I don't care if they don't want to plow.
Cut up your nose.
We should have lowered the select board. That would be like 100.
Yeah.
I wish we could have done it by hands. Now the town is closed. Yes. I did not. Lost my mind a few times. No.
The first year.
Is that true? I don't remember that.
It's prorated.
Okay, great. Okay.
Retire.
Yes.
Oh, I could not.
So I laid the groundwork. So I did the same thing. How I heard all kinds of different things. This time, and then was to say how that I said, no, I said, last thing I did that job.
Okay, folks, I have the results of the vote. I beg your attention, please. The amendment to reduce it to $279,000 has 86 yes and 69 votes. No. The amendment passes.
Reduce 279.
We got to go back to the article now. Article 19, to see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate to general government, and it's not to exceed $279,000. Is the new amendment, new article. Is there further discussion? Anybody at all? If there is no discussion, if you favor the main article, the $279,000 figure in it, please raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hand. That's the vote. It passes. Article 20, to see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate it for the fire department not to exceed $50,000. Recommended by the select board, fire chief, and budget committee, $50,000. Can we have a motion? We have a second? Second. Discussion. Yes, sir.
How does the town expect fire department to run for 50 grand? I'm a former fire chief here in Sangerville, was for 10 years. 10 years ago, the budget I had was $67,000. How can you, there's no, I'm also an assistant chief in the town of Monson. Our payroll is more than what this budget is. I just don't see how you could keep track, even keep up with testing equipment. From what I saw in here, there's no way testing airbags is $200. You can't do it. The compressor alone is $500 for a testing service. There's just no way possible. Even though they cut the pay down, which is also ridiculous, I won't get into that. But
I won't let you.
there's just because it's not, they're not going to change it now. Here,
We can't change this.
Correct.
We cannot increase the amount.
we can vote it down.
If you vote it down, they won't have a budget.
Well, I just want people to be aware. I mean, this is crazy. Why do we have okay
Just a minute. You have the floor.
I'll answer any questions about this that anybody has, but I mean, I've done this for 36 years. There is no way that that's possibly wrong.
Somebody up here had something to say?
Why do we have outdated equipment?
Stand up, please.
Why do we have outdated equipment?
Jermaine.
It's not germane, the article. The article is drawn to $50,000. It's recommended by the select board, fire chief, and budget committee. That's what's in the article. We can't answer the question about outdated equipment. Yes.
Can we hear from the fire chief about this? Yes.
Okay, if you want
Only
to,
to speak to the article.
there he is, come on up here. Guess they like it.
I guess so. All right, so as far as the budget goes, for this year, the suggested budget from myself was, I believe, $112,000 to start. That included, if you look at Article 22, I believe, is the 40,000 citizens petition for air pack replacement. That was figured into that budget. So if you take out the 40,000 out of the 112, you're somewhere in the 70,000 area. Payroll was cut 13,000 and change, and then the rest came out of various places. Yeah, funds. I don't back this number. That's why I had the citizens petition. I will speak my speech on the citizens petition part of it. And that is where the extra 40 that I'm asking for comes from. If you all can just give me a couple seconds to pull that out.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, Mr. Director.
If we,
Stand up, please.
sorry, I'm holding all kinds of things and now I've dropped them.
You'll find them.
I might. If we vote in favor of the 50,000, the 10,000, and the 40,000, are you going to be able to run the fire department?
The way that it's budgeted out with the cuts in the payroll this year, we should be within that budget, but that's not going to include certain maintenance items on trucks, certain equipment upgrades. That will be no new equipment except for if this second petition passes for air packs, that will be new air packs for them. But that is not going to be a couple sets of gear. That's not going to be more pagers. It's not going to be more radios. It's going to cover payroll, it's going to cover fuel, and it's going to cover air pack maintenance, the absolute necessary stuff that Department of Labor makes us do.
Yes, sir.
So if your payroll's cut in half, how does that work? Is this, I'm sure your prices and everything else has increased, so how have you gone?
So payroll, I think everybody in the county knows this system, and this is how it used to go, which was when the tone goes off, everybody that shows up gets paid minimum wage while they're on the clock. When they get back, that clock stops. That's how it was. I guess speaking with a lawyer, the select board chose to go a different route, which is to pay firefighters a $10 stipend per call, which cuts the payroll from $28,000 last year to, I think it's $15,000 would be the payroll for this year.
Which was his number?
Go ahead.
Folks, please. Go right ahead. You have the floor.
How do the townspeople go about having that put back into the budget? Because I understand we can't go over what's written in this article, but it sounds, from all the whisperings that I'm hearing, like the town is not in favor of that. So how do we go about getting that put back into the budget now that they've cut the other amount from $338,000 to $279,000?
You would have to have a special town meeting.
How do we go about doing that? Is that something that
The
we can ask them
select
to
can
do?
do it.
Okay.
But if you can ask for more money, whatever. Yes, sir.
I just want to say that myself, and I know a lot of people in the fire department, we don't do it for the money, but it's a slap in the face. Know that all of our... You guys do a great job. Thank you. More money for us, personally, right?
can't raise it. You cannot raise the money anymore for 50,000. It's state law. You cannot violate state law. Yes, ma'am.
Look at Guilford, look
You
at
can't raise it.
Just a minute. Don't interrupt.
If you can't raise the funds anymore, then when they have their fire boots and they're stopping me in traffic, I want to make sure that money goes to the fire department and nowhere else.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I just have a quick question. I see that our expenditures on repairs for the fire department last year were about $7,300. And then our proposed budget this year is $3,000. I'm just wondering if you could speak to like what those funds are and why those are.
Sure. So last year, there was some extra expenses with fixing our tanker that had some suspension issues. That money had to, because it wasn't budgeted in, had to be pulled from a reserve, and then part of it came from the additional money that was in the budget. This year, we don't expect those kind of major breakdowns, but
So that
we never
line
know.
tracks where you
We just never know.
Oh my God. I have one more question for Matt.
Just a minute, please. Debbie, and then I'll get you, and then the gentleman up back. I'll get you. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding this right, that if we voted this down today,
They wouldn't have a budget.
but is it only the selectmen that can request a special meeting, or can we?
Now, there is a process to go through. I can't tell you. There has to be a certain percentage of the last gubernatorial vote, and I'm not sure without seeing the law. But there is a way to force a special town meeting. Yes, there is. No? The lady over here, George, I'll get you.
Matt, can you comment on your availability of grant funding?
Okay, so as far as grants go, last year alone, I spent about 100 hours of my own time. That's not you guys' time, so everybody knows that. That was my own time to apply for grants. There's a lot of fire department grants. We were lucky enough to get a couple local grants for small stuff. Unfortunately, everything targets a certain area. Air packs was not one of those things. The one that we did apply for that would pay for that kind of thing is a FEMA grant, which is through the federal government. Unfortunately, we just, because of our population, probably the town's, maybe the reserve fund amount, I don't know what exactly goes into that, but we didn't fall into that category to receive that grant.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Can we hear what the mindset of the board is to reduce all of this fire money?
I can't answer all your questions because I came in on the end of all this. Did have several meetings with the board and that number looks horrible. If you look at it in general, it looks like a heck of a cut. But we did say with Matt that we would go, and if things didn't work out, we would sit back down and readjust. If something should break on a truck, and that's not in their budget, the town is definitely gonna go fix it. We definitely wanna work with the fire department. We were trying to look at the overall budget and just keep it down for the taxpayers, not to hurt the fire department, not to hurt the town office, but we looked at the overall budget. But I'm sitting here as a willing partner saying we will work with the fire department. We're not gonna let them struggle or fail. Matt's pointed out stuff with maintenance and stuff, and he's willing to work with me and get some different maintenance done on the trucks that haven't been done in a long time. But I'm standing here saying I'm a willing partner to work with the fire department and keep it up and keep it going.
This lady here would like to speak. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say on behalf of the fire department, I'm a wife of the fire department. It's been on for 50 years. It's not just about the fire department. They need this equipment to stay safe and alive. I've had a call and my son says, Mom, if you hear anything, Dad's okay. They give their whole life for this fire department. And without the proper equipment, it's not, they need the training, the equipment to be safe.
John?
The
And Mrs. Sack.
Article 20
recommended by the select board, recommended by the fire chief, recommended by the budget committee. Move the motion, let's go. This has
Yeah, we're gonna
nothing,
just-
the added monies, we can't, it's very clear cut.
We can't add money to that.
No.
Mrs. Savage.
Did I understand correctly, you folks get $10 to call and go out and that's it?
That just started April 1st.
And the select board approved that or encouraged that?
Yes.
Yeah, that was where the motion came from.
May I ask why that is?
That's the one.
Across the state, we've been doing, we did research with regard to how fire departments are staying open and affording fire departments, especially small towns like ours. And and one of the models is a stipend model. And so we modeled our stipend payments to the fire department after a lot of towns that are the same size as ours. So that's where the money, that's where the dollar amount came from, and it's modeled after other towns.
Can you tell us which towns that you modeled it after?
St. Louis, the least.
Just a minute, folks.
The rate was essentially recommended to us by the town's attorney. It was, there's a threshold that if compensation gets to 20% of a full-time firefighter, the liability for the town, they really become like employees. They're subject to workers, well, they have workers' comp anyway, but collective bargaining. So, and we were getting dangerously close to that threshold. So if you would compare a full-time firefighter in Dover Foxcroft, if our firefighters get to within 20% of that, the ramifications for the town are significant. They're treated like full-time employees. So it needs to be more of a volunteer style, or that's kind of how the compensation would change.
Volunteer part of it is when you choose to get out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and somebody has a shift to call you.
Okay, that's not germane. We're gonna move the article.
Okay.
We have a motion on the floor to accept the article with the $50,000 figure in it. The state law will not allow us to increase that. We can't. We can have a special town meeting at some point in time and increase it. But we can't increase it today.
How much money do we have?
So, please, don't holler out like that. $50,000 in this article. If you favor this article, $50,000, please raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hand. The article passes. We'll move on. Article 21, to see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the fire department capital equipment fund, $10,000. That $10,000 is in the article. We cannot increase it. Recommended by the select board and the budget committee, $10,000. Can we have a motion?
Yeah.
We have a second. Discussion. Is there any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, if you favor the article as I read it, please raise your hand. If you oppose it, raise your hand. It's a vote. Article 22. Excuse me. To see if the inhabitants of Sangerville will appropriate $40,000 from the reserve account to purchase 4 new Scott Air packs and 8 Air Pack air bottles out of 11 that we need. This will be the first of a 3-phase process to keep the Sangerville Fire Department breathing equipment in compliance. And this is a citizen's petition. Can we have a motion? To pass the article. Do we have a second? Second. Discussion. Mr. Chief.
Thank you. I did write something just to give everybody an overview of what I am asking for in this petition. So good afternoon, my name is Matt Blockler, and it doesn't know me. I am the fire chief of Sangerville, my 17th year in the fire service. This article is being brought to you today is asking you as the residents of Sangerville to allocate $40,000 from the town's reserve funds for the fire department to purchase 4 new Scott air packs, also known as breathing apparatus, along with 8 air bottles to go with them. Our current units are anywhere between 21 and 27 years old. The older of these air packs have non-integrated pass devices, which is a device that alerts crews to firefighter emergency. These devices on the older packs must be manually activated, and in the heat of the moment, they can be forgotten. This leads to life-threatening situations should one of the firefighters get trapped or collapse in a fire. The manufacturer of these air packs has an obligation to manufacture parts for these units for 20 years. There is no definitive way to tell how long that stockpile of parts will last. The Budget Committee and Select Board was presented with options that myself as a fire chief felt would be appropriate to accomplish our goal. One option, which is what I present to you today, is a 3-step process of $40,000 to start to purchase 4 complete air packs with their corresponding bottles and masks. The other option was a municipal lease program through Androscoggin Bank to lease all of the units that we need for a 10-year term at $17,000 and change per year. This year's payroll budget was cut by over $13,000. With this being done, I thought the rest was a reasonable number to add to the budget for the security of this new equipment. Unfortunately, these options were not favored by the board or the budget committee. After the budget committee meeting, a donation was made by Corunna Fire Department, which consisted of 5 air packs not in use anymore due to them replacing their breathing apparatus recently. As we are extremely grateful to Corunna for their donation, these units are the same model and only 2 years newer than our current stock, meaning this will not solve our need to update this vital equipment. There is some miscommunication between some that may believe that I am implying we are currently out of compliance with the Department of Labor standards. This is not the case. This is to assure that we stay ahead of both current and upcoming regulations that could be changing in the future regarding equipment, and to do everything in our power to keep the men and women who wear this equipment safe from the dangers that face us while protecting the people and property of your community. The main point to remember here when you vote today is that these pieces of equipment are in excess of 20 years old, and a plan to phase into current units is one that we need. Please consider this option today to help us stay safe while keeping you safe. Thank you.
Other discussion? If there is no other discussion, I have a motion on the floor to approve the article. No, excuse me, go ahead.
I just want to bring to everyone's attention too, that they're asking for money for 4. There's more than 4 air pack certified people in the fire department, so are you saying that you only care about 4 that go in, you only need 4 pieces of equipment?
So what this is...
There's more equipment that we're going to need, so down the road, what are your plans on applying for grants to get more equipment in that are going to service you?
Yep. I apply for every grant that I see available every year. I will continue to do that. This is basically to do a 3-step process in order to spread out the burden. Instead of 120, 130,000 at one time, it spreads it out. We can make do if we get 4 this year and we explore 4 in another year, or maybe 2 years we can stretch it, but that's the plan.
Okay.
You're doing a great job.
Any other discussion? If you favor Article 23, as it is written, please raise your hands. Excuse me, 22, excuse me. Article 22. If you oppose it, raise your hands. It's a vote. Article 23. To see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate for animal welfare, not to exceed $2,800, and carry the balance to the next fiscal year. And this is recommended by the Select Board and the Budget Committee. Are we all right with that? Yep. Okay. And we have a motion. And a second. Discussion. Katrina. Karina, excuse me, Karina.
This, I presume, is for our animal control. Is that what this is? Who's our animal control officer?
Joe Guyot.
And is that a stipend, or is that per call that he actually responds to?
Per call.
Per call.
Okay.
Okay? Yes, sir.
I'm confused.
confused. Is this for like registering your animal?
Stand up.
Is this for registering your like dog or cat?
No, I believe,
I'm confused, sorry.
I believe it's to take care of dogs and cats that are running around.
Okay.
Of skunks in your porch.
Registering, because I just wanted to know, cats register a dog, maybe, you know, you can have 17 cats in the neighborhood.
Yeah, well, it could be skunks in your porch, squirrels in your attic, bats in your attic, or whatever. Whatever you need the animals to go off the farm. Is there any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? It's a vote. Pardon? Article 24, to see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate for protection, including the street lights and hydrants, not to exceed $45,200. And that's the recommendation of the select board and the budget committee. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Discussion? Street lights and hydrants. If you favor Article 24 as ready, please raise your hand. If you oppose, raise your hand. Thank you. Article 25, to see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate for public works, not to exceed $384,710. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Discussion. You see none? Yes.
What page is that budget?
What page is that budget?
56.
56. Take it.
55, 56.
$10,000 for dam repair. Which dam is that?
55, 56.
55, 56.
What's he asking for?
Wait, just be the same again, please.
It shows $10,000 for dam repair. Which dam is it?
The only one we own.
It's the Manhattan Dam on the main road. The boards are all getting rotted in it, and pretty soon they're all gonna let go, and your pond's gonna go down, so we gotta have an expert guy come up and replace the boards and give us a plan on how to replace the boards.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other discussion? If you favor Article 25, as I read it, with the amount of $384,710, please raise your hand. If you oppose, raise your hand. Vote. Article 26, to see if the town will vote to appropriate from the general fund for the purpose of road maintenance and improvement, not to exceed $200,000. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Discussion? Hearing seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Vote. Article 27, to see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate for health and sanitation, not to exceed $127,960. And this is recommended by the select board and budget committee. Can we have a motion? Second?
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of Article 27 as I read it. All those opposed? It's a vote. Article 28, to see what sum of money the town will vote to raise and appropriate for municipal welfare, not to exceed $5,000. And that's the recommendation of the select board and budget committee. Do we have a motion? Second? Discussion? Yes.
What is that?
General assistance.
General assistance. Any other discussion? Here, seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Vote. Article 29, to see if the town will vote to appropriate for the monument lot reserve, monument lot expenses, not to exceed $600, and that's the recommendation of the select board budget committee. Do we have a motion? Have a second? Discussion? Hearing seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Vote. Article 30, to see if the town will vote to appropriate for cemetery expenses, not to exceed $18,900. And we can't use it now. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Who made the motion? Who seconded it? Good, okay. Discussion.
I just have a question.
Gentlemen, stand up, please.
How many cemeteries do you actually have in Sangerville?
57?
All of them?
7 or 8? One down there, one down below my house, one down.
They're in here. There's
They're all
pictures.
over the place.
I don't have that because do you think this 18,000 will cover all of the cemeteries in the town?
It's for mowing, it's for mowing and general maintenance.
It's for mowing and general maintenance. So apparently they do. There is an issue over here though by the river.
That's separate.
Yeah,
That's
totally
separate.
separate.
That's separate.
Okay.
That's a lot
Add
of,
a lot of zeros. if you
Yeah.
talk about that.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Put my down a little bit. It's all muffled.
You're over-modulating a little bit.
okay, okay, I'm sorry. All right. Any other discussion? Here, yes.
Is there appropriated money for the cemetery that's going into the river? I know that's not gonna be in this, but is there going to be somewhere they're
Do
gonna
we
take
have
care of
an
that?
there's no article on it, but I can talk to him.
Yeah, tell them what you learned.
So, that, we got FEMA here, and that was part of the storms that we got this past winter, that ruined some of our roads, and we had put a lot of money into that. So I put that down as a FEMA thing. I got a site visit with FEMA. I do believe it's next week sometime. I've had one contractor look at it from New Hampshire that has a big contracting firm out there. He builds like Walmarts, and he says it could be a monumental job. Wouldn't give you a number. But FEMA has come and just generally sitting in the office. I've got to have 2 engineering studies, so I got to get 2 engineering groups, hopefully Plymouth and one other one, to come look at it, give me some money, an idea. I also got to, if anybody in this room can help me, or help the town, is we got to figure out how many lots are there along that whole line, because the whole side's moving. And we got to figure out how many sites are there, who can move them, and what's involved in moving them. So it's going to be a lot of time involved in research. We have to get a hold of families. I don't know all the rules, but we do have FEMA as the first step, and got to get those engineering quotes if we have to move.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Hearing and saying none, if you favor the article with a figure of $18,900 in it, please raise your hand. If you oppose it, raise your hand. It's a vote. Article 31, see if the town will vote to authorize the municipal officers to dispose of town-owned property with a value of $10,000 or less under such terms and conditions as they deem advisable. Can we have a motion?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Anyone? Yes, Diane.
Just to avoid any improprieties, I'd like to amend that and say by bid.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay, we have the offer of an amendment, it's been seconded
We always did it that way.
to dispose town property with various, where do we put by bid? In $10,000 or less by bid. Is that what you want? Okay. Is there any discussion on that? Mrs. Bowley asked to have that put in by bid. Is there any discussion? Hearing none? Do you favor the amendment, add in the wording by bid? Raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hand. Passes. To see if the town will vote to authorize the municipal officers to dispose of town-owned property with a value of $10,000 or less by bid. Any more discussion? Hearing none, if you favor that, as I just said it, please raise your hands. If you oppose it, raise your hands. It's a vote. Article 32, to see if the town will vote to accept donations of funds from the Millard and Marjorie Smart Trust Fund and to accept the donor's condition that the funds be used to defray town school expenses and to appropriate said donation toward the town share of RSU 80 costs for FY 2024. And the estimated donation in 2024 is about $2,000. That's the estimate. Can we have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second? Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, if you favor the articles I read it, would you please raise your hand? If you oppose it, raise your hand. It's a vote. Article 33, to see if the town will approve summer and winter maintenance for the Turner Road from the North Dexter Road, excuse me, 2,875 feet to the driveway from the property listed as map 4, lot 8-4, and the Jackson Corner Road from the North Dexter Road, Route 23, 6/10 of a mile towards Parkland Town Line, along with summer maintenance for the Milton Mills Road from East Sangerville Road to the intersection of the Borough Road. Your motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. Yes.
Did we already do this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Any other discussion? If you favor the articles I read it, please raise your hand. If you oppose it, raise your hand.
Mr. Davis, before you move on, I'd like a little clarification, please. I apologize for...
Sure. Okay, folks. Yes, you got the floor.
We have Article 34, 35, and 36 left, and this is where the confusion for me comes, is there's an insert in here that reads differently for Article 36 than it does on page 69 of the report.
Right, 36. 36 is actually the handout.
36 after the hand. I'm going to ask you.
I just want some clarification, which 36 is which?
The page that, the insert is the right one.
The insert is the right one?
Correct.
The printed one on page 69 is incorrect?
The book's a typo.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask my deputy moderator if he'll do the next 3 articles. You served in the legislature together. I can't tell you, really pleased with me to have you do this.
Hey, well, I'll sit right here to help you if you need any help.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Just to set the record straight on a couple of things. First of all, for those who don't know me, I am Steve Foster. I do live in Dexter. My last town meeting in Sangerville, former Senator Davis contacted me and said, "How long's it been since you've been to a Sangerville town meeting?" Well, I figured it out, 42 years. 42 years ago at the Sangerville Fire Station, I doubt that there were 30 people there. But I attended a lot as a kid, and when I lived on Church Street for 3 years, I made sure to make the town meetings when I wasn't out to sea. And I will say this, as both Senator Davis and I have fought to keep local control, and as I tell my 5 towns, 5.5 towns, when I go to their town meetings, this is where the rubber meets the road. Local control, local participation is of the utmost importance. Secondly, I'd like to say this. I've been in a lot of places, and now in Augusta, I meet a lot of people. They ask me where I'm from. I tell them, I live in Dexter, but I'm from Sangerville. And I have always done that, no matter where I was, because I'm very proud of having been born and raised in this town, and some of you helped, that I see here today, to raise me, and some of you were raised along with me. And finally, I will say this. People ask me, well, why did you move to Dexter? And quite often, depending on who it is, forgive me, Pat, I tell them, well, Senator Davis moved to Sangerville, and I figured I'd better get out of there. Now,
That was when I was a state trooper.
a lot of people that know me know better than that. So, we do have 3 articles left. Paul told me they'd be the easiest ones on the list, so here we go. And I would ask again, please, one speaker at a time. If you have questions, please go through the moderator. And also, please raise your hand and stand so everyone can hear you, if possible. Well, I have 36. 34. I know. Yeah, 34.
It's gonna make that. Okay.
Okay, I won't need the gavel, I'm sure. Article 34, as we move ahead, to see if the inhabitants of Sangerville will authorize the Board of Assessors to enter into a purchase agreement with Hutchins Real Estate Investments LLC for the purpose of purchasing the old municipal building located at 1 Town Hall Avenue, Sangerville, for a price of $20,000, and to provide a quit claim deed to Hutchins Real Estate Investments LLC. Do I have a motion? Motion's been made. Do I have a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? Debate? Yes, sir.
Are we not putting the cart ahead of the horse on this one? We don't know what we're doing yet. How would you sell it?
Yes, sir.
Are we violating our own article here where we said dispose of assets in greater than 10,000 be put up for public bid? Right. I don't see any relevance to this article being on where the asset is worth more than, I think it should be struck and not even voted on.
If you vote for this article, you will be approving that this sale will be done in this manner. If you vote it down, then obviously it won't be. Any other discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Why does it say Board of Assessors? We do not have a Board of Assessors. It's select men. Why is that worded differently?
I don't.
It's the same thing.
I'm told that would be your Board of Selectmen
yeah.
would do that.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
What does this real estate investment company plan on doing with it?
There's a letter. There's a letter in your town report. He describes his plans.
There's a letter in your town report, if you haven't seen it. Yes, sir.
I did not hear the motion turned into a final.
Stand up.
I did not hear the motion on the floor.
The motion was made to approve the article as written.
I have one more question.
Please stand up.
Wasn't there
Okay.
my voice is loud now.
Go ahead. It always was.
Wasn't there an appraisal done last year or the year before, and it was like 68,000? If we're gonna sell it,
Needs to go out to public bid.
The motion is to sell it as written for $20,000. Yes, ma'am.
Could I have an explanation?
Could you stand
I'm
up?
sorry. Could I have an explanation? Can't hear us. The reason that this is put on the warrant to begin with?
So the lady has asked for an explanation of why this is on the warrant. Please.
There is a letter on page 60 from the gentleman who is seeking to buy the building. It's very simple. He came to the town and made this offer. We can't accept it, and so we're just sharing it with you. If you don't want to do it, vote no. If you think it's a good idea, vote yes. That's it. Excuse me. Any other questions about that? Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know why we're giving it away, in effect. I mean.
Then you would
this
vote
building
no.
is beautiful, it's great. You're giving it away for less than what my house costs.
So, again, the lady has asked why we're giving it away. We're not giving it away. The amount that we would sell this for, if you approve the article, is for $20,000. Yes, ma'am.
at that special meeting, didn't we vote down not to do that?
Yeah.
Why is that not?
This gentleman's offer has never been entertained at town meeting until today.
You talked about it at the town, at these public meetings.
One at a time, please.
We've never had an article on this.
One article, you talked about it, and I'm asking about the special meeting we had when we discussed this, with 100 people here.
Right, that was a different article. That article was, yeah, we talked about all kinds of things, but this article has never been presented to the town until today.
And we don't necessarily support it, this gentleman came in, he made an offer, and we had to share it with you. That's it.
Thank you. So just a reminder, this is just an article on your warrant. It is as it reads, to sell the piece of property for $20,000. When we're finished with the discussion, you'll get a chance to vote yes or no, even if you've done it before. Yes.
Can you just call for a vote?
Yes.
We're gonna allow the discussion as much as we can. Yes, please stand. Please
I
stand.
just want people to know that if you agree to that, sell that building, we lose money in the fire department for parking, for our firefighters.
Yes, sir. Sir.
I got one question.
Yes.
A bunch of people talking to you about this last meeting they had. He's saying, the gentleman up here is saying that this was never discussed. So, within that meeting, was it discussed on selling the building previously? You're talking about the different
There was no article.
But was it discussed previously on selling the building?
The answer I'm hearing is no.
Yes. So why is the town people, you got a bunch of town people saying that this was all discussed, that they voted it down? We did not.
It's not relevant, not germane to this article. We are going to vote on this article, which is to sell the property for $20,000, yea or nay. Please.
I think we just need to kind of have a vote.
Yeah.
If we don't want to sell it for $20,000, which obviously I don't think any of us do, vote no. And if you would like to sell it, go ahead and vote yes.
Perfect.
If the building is sold, what are they gonna use it for?
That question's been answered previously. There's a letter in the town warrant.
Page 60.
Explains it on page 60. Yes, sir.
So essentially, if we sell this building for $20,000, this building could possibly be made into one of the largest revenue streams and tax base in the town.
But it's about
That would depend on the valuation of the property, and once it goes private, then you're correct. You would have received property tax from it. Any other questions or debate on this issue? If not, I'll call the vote on Article 34, which is to see if the... Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I just want to answer the question. Is it for sale? No, it's not for sale.
Article 34, to see if the inhabitants of Sangerville will authorize the Board of Assessors, the Selectmen, to enter into a purchase agreement with Hutchins Real Estate Investments LLC for the purpose of purchasing the old municipal building located at 1 Town Hall Avenue, Sangerville, for a price of $20,000, and to provide a quitclaim deed to Hutchins Real Estate Investments LLC. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. All those opposed?
Hell no.
Article 34 fails. Moving on to Article 35. When you're ready. Article 35, to see if the inhabitants of Sangerville, Maine will authorize the town to allocate up to $440,000 from the town's reserve funds to be used to do renovations to the town hall building, with a one-year goal. The renovations will be focused on obtaining municipal fire, hazard, and liability insurance, and reestablishing use of the first floor for the town office, voting place, and community meeting space. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve Article 35 as read. Discussion. Yes, sir.
I move for a paper ballot, please.
We will use a paper ballot. Any? Yes, ma'am. Please stand.
If you want to make sure that everyone can hear me? Yes?
Give her the mic.
Voice?
Diane, take the mic. Speak about that.
I'm Diane McCarthy Clark. I'm part of the ad hoc committee that did the citizen petition, and we think it's important that you hear what it is that we've done to bring this petition forward to you as a group. We think it's an important thing that you have a choice in what happens to the town hall. Article 35 is the result of a 4-month effort by a citizens ad hoc committee that began their work on January 8th of 2024. Several of these people had also been members of the 2023 Town Office Committee. The January 8th meeting had 18 attendees who represented a cross-section of people in Sangerville. They identified 3 points that were voiced at the special town meeting held last December, when voters overwhelmingly defeated an article to build a new town office. The 3 key points were: 1, voters were not interested in voting for something that did not have a clear breakdown of information about details and costs. 2, voters were interested in exploring the option of returning the town office to the town hall and reestablishing the existing community room and voting place for town use. And 3, voters were skeptical of the select board's work on the town office, town hall situation. After the January 8th meeting, the select board notified the committee members that they had selected 7 of the 18 members for a board-approved committee. They supplied their selected committee with a list of expectations for committee member conduct and designed the committee's mission. First, to investigate town interest in establishing a nonprofit organization that would take over control of the town hall building. And second, to explore the future use of the hall. The appointed committee would submit all their findings to the board for their consideration. The volunteers of the January 8th group decided that it would decline the offer to have a smaller committee act as the board's approved agents. They moved forward as an independent ad hoc committee that would be free of board influence. The decision also allowed all 18 members to have an equal say in the work and decision-making. The ad hoc committee met almost weekly for the last 4 months and put in hundreds of volunteer hours to develop a proposal for the voters to consider. Through a citizen's petition signed by well over 200 voters, Article 35 finally, and for the first time, allows voters to make an informed decision about the future of the town hall. Jerry Peters has come prepared to share the committee's vision for the future of the town hall building. The detailed breakdown of costs for restoring the first floor is presented in a report on page 48 of the town report and will be explained in detail by Dennis Cantwell. The ad hoc committee, a group of folks just like you, has done the best that it could to get the information voters need to decide if the town hall should remain a town-owned building that will serve as the municipal center for Sangerville. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion, Mr. Peters.
I'd like to time. I don't want to.
You got him, Jerry.
Thank you. The ad hoc committee, the vision for the town office. Okay. The ad hoc committee, the vision for the town office is at the moment to move back into it. That's going to take some work at this point. We need to come into insurance compliance, and that includes some wiring, foundation work, and one of our other members is going to explain the details on the cost and the extent of what's got to be done. But for any person that's here that hasn't been here forever in this town, I just want to take a little walk through recent history with what we've been through with this building. In 1992, this voting body made a unanimous decision. Everybody voted to restore that building to its former use and glory. And we made good progress on that. We had a blueprint approved that it was ADA, that it became ADA compliant, and egress standards, which we never had there, were put in place. All this was at a cost to the taxpayer, which they knew right in the beginning and voted for it 100%. So, with a $50,000 grant, help from Charleston Correctional Facility, this building was brought into compliance. To include things like being historically correct, the doors, the trim, everything that was done, kept it on the registered, National Register of Historic Places. Later came a vault and a sprinkler system, concrete walls around the outside, and a drainage system. Some stained glass repair, that's fashion and complete right now, and new siding. Here's where the problem begins. However, the last 8 to 10 years, there was no committee reappointed to look after this and to be advisory to the select board or citizens' promotion to keep this building in good shape. 8 to 10 years on any building is devastating. And most of you own homes, I'm sure you can identify with that. And now we need to address it again. It's unfortunate, but we need to. This building is actually better built than any new structure we're going to get. If you don't believe it, look at the Masonic building on the corner in Guilford. That was a beautiful building. They took it down and built a Rite Aid, bought out by Walgreens, sitting for less than 2 years, and it's going downhill fast. There's maintenance on any building, whether it's a 1901 building or if it's built recently. I just want to say this. This is the first time, and this has been a 5-year debate. We've all been heated up and arguing about it. This is the first time in 5 years you people are going to decide again, and you are in charge of this. Not the select board, not the ad hoc committee. We're going to hand that to you to vote on. I will ask you to vote with me. This retain one town hall avenue wherever it is. Thank you.
Anyone else with information that needs to be shared?
In the fall of 2023, our town hall committee met several times to address the needs of the town office and town hall. After considering several options, we had recommended a new town office building to be reimbursed by 85% of congressionally designated funds. The special town meeting on December 16th rejected that option by a vote of 79 to 21. Expecting to meet again in January, our committee to discuss site options for the new town hall, our agenda was reset to determine the cost to get back into the town hall. We addressed the downstairs only, the cost to get back into the town hall. We, with the goal of moving the town office back to the town hall, we worked from the insurance report of the Maine Municipal Association to address each of the line item problems. The prices in our letter are in page 48 in the town report. The prices are from reputable contractors. A few, unfortunately, are estimates instead of quotes, since our contractors were denied access to the building. By far the largest cost is for repairing the cracked and bulging cellar walls. We secured a quote for pouring a reinforced concrete wall, one-sided on the interior. The company has an engineered design process, crew, equipment, and offer a 25-year warranty on their product. Their cost is in line with or smaller than estimates received previously to repair the problem. We had asked for up to $440,000. Our current figure is at $231,000 to meet the objectives objections of the insurance company. In addition, we would like to see new flooring for the hall, office, wash and paint the exterior, pave the parking lot, another $80,000 total to restore some of the status that the building deserves. Our total is in the neighborhood of $309,000 right now. The Select Board believes that such project cannot be done by our current volunteers and recommends licensed engineers. While we disagree, if needed, there should still be money in our budget to pay them.
Thank you. Other discussion of today? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got one question. You have a committee. Why were they denied access to the building so they can bring the information to the townspeople? Why were they denied access?
The question is, why was the committee denied access to the building? Anyone wish to answer
Not
that?
germane to the question.
Well, we got 3 selectmen, they should be able to tell us.
We were told that it was an insurance issue. We were escorted into the building on a few occasions to get compensation for this presentation. We were escorted by the previous town manager. When that town manager left, we were told that you no longer have any access to the building because of insurance issues.
So it could have been
Any,
worse than that.
one at a time, please. And raise your hand if you'd like to raise a question or debate the issue. Yes. Certainly.
All right. Most of you know that I was CEO of Main Highlands Federal Credit Union for 36 plus years. Over the last several years that I've worked there, I have built 4 brand new branch offices, and we have renovated 2 of our other offices. What I can say to you is I know that $440,000 would not build us a new commercial building. I think that number was not a correct number for us, but I'm also concerned on the other side that the town hall, when you're presenting it, you're saying phase 1 to us. We don't know what those next phases are. My suggestion to you as a town, and this is just my personal opinion, I do not want to put a Band-Aid on something that we need stitches for. We need to understand what those actual costs are going to be. I think as a group, now that we've reached the point that we know we want to keep it, because that's the just thing, we need to go back to the drawing board. And we need to know what the total intent is for that building. What's phase 1, what's phase 2, what's phase 3. One of the things that concern me is I don't understand it, so Jerry, just if you need to explain it to me. Something about disconnecting wiring on the 2nd floor. Do we have a plan to use those other floors in the future? Those are the things I want to see to make an educated decision when we vote on what we're going to do in this town. And I'm going to just throw some wild ideas out to you. There are compromises that can be made. If we find that it's going to cost us way too much to restore the town hall, but we know that 440 is not going to do it, we could have, and there are architectural firms out there that can do this, we could incorporate stained glass windows and some of the other features of that town hall into a new building and make it look architecturally correct for us. Another wild idea I'm just throwing out at you. We can no longer have our town meetings in the fire department because the fire department has issues that they don't want us in. We have a town garage sitting there doing nothing. Maybe we can really be wild and look at the town office, community room, and the fire department all at once. I'm just throwing out wild ideas to you guys. But I don't, right now, and this is just my own personal opinion, I can't put a Band-Aid on something if I know it's not going to stop the bleeding. So what I would like to say is, and I don't think you should be an ad hoc committee anymore, because you should not have to spend any money out of your pockets to bring an educated amount of money to this town to make a decision on. No one should have to take money out of their pockets to do that when it's a town building. So what I'm saying to you is a group, if we can restore that town office at a cost we can afford, I'm all for it, but I don't think I have those numbers yet. You know, that's where I am. And the other thing is, I don't know how much we have in the reserve fund. That is not listed in there anywhere. The only thing I see is your certificate that you have with Maine Highlands Federal Credit Union. Is that our reserve money? Because there's no balance sheet that shows us what's in reserves. We have specific reserves, but there's nothing showing that's unrestricted reserves, so we don't know what that number is. Today, if you ask, my vote is no. Not that I don't want to fix the town hall. I'm not saying that to you. I want you to go back and bring us some better numbers. That's what I'm saying to you. And when you have those better numbers, let's get back together as a group and see if we can make that work. But if we can't, then let's look at the other options that may be out there for us. The town hall should be our first option. But tell me what you're going to do after phase one. Because, you know, and I don't want you to be scared of what was sent out in that letter about reserves, because you don't have to replace your reserves all at once. That was, the letter that was sent to you says our taxes are going to go up 35%. That's a choice. You don't have to say we want to put $440,000 back in this year. You can allocate $10,000 a year, but we don't know the number that's in reserve. So I don't have enough, and again, I want to restore the town hall if that is feasibly possible for the town. But right now, I don't have enough information to say yes to any of this. I don't have that. And I think until we do, we need to get back together as that building committee and work out what the phases are going to be and what your projections are. Are we going to use that second floor or not? And if we're not going to do all those things to put the whole building back in place, does it make sense? Does that make sense to you, Dirk? Because I know your heart is in that building. And I'm the same, I was born and moved to Guilford when my parents took me there, but I came back to Sangerville. I'm a Sangerville girl, Steve, where are we now? I mean, I won the friggin' golf carriage contest when I was 5 years old in the parade. You know, I'm a Sangerville girl, but I want to make sure that we're not putting a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches. And that's what I'm asking of you guys as that committee, to let us know what after phase one, what's next. Because right now, all we're trying to do is get the town office back into it. You know, and we're talking $350,000 to get there. So.
Mr. Foster?
So, the question out of all of that, there was a question.
She wants to say something.
What is the $440,000 that is in the article, is that currently covered by the reserve fund account?
There's more in that account than $440,000.
The answer is yes, there is more than $440,000 in the reserve fund account. Young man up there.
She said the first thing should be the town office. I don't think so. I think that's kind of last on the list. It should be the fire department and public works.
Okay. Other questions, debate? Steve? Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to state that the letter that was sent out to us by the selectmen insinuated to me, maybe I read it wrong, that if this was to go through, that our taxes were gonna go up 35% and all of this other stuff. It seemed like if we decided to do anything with this, that our taxes may go up because of this. I went to Hamlin and Associates, I had to go there anyway, spoke to a very nice lady in there. It has nothing to do with any of this, our taxes going up. They're going up anyway because we have to, houses are selling for more, that type of thing. So please don't think that taxes are going up strictly because of this. It's going up because our properties are selling for more money.
Yes, sorry.
Right.
I'd like to make a proposal perhaps that we lower the amount to $100,000 with the provision of having a full engineering, comprehensive engineering study done on the building so that all of us can be informed with regard to how much it is in fact going to cost us. And go from there.
Are you suggesting that as an article, an amendment?
Amendment to the article.
So, there's an amendment been made to the Article 35, which would amend it to lower the amount to $100,000, the purpose of which would be to have a comprehensive study performed to see what is needed for the building to be brought up to standards where it can be used. That, well, what you said.
Yeah.
So there's an a motion for this amendment. Do I have a second for that motion?
I
It's
know.
been moved and seconded. Discussion, yes, ma'am.
I don't believe you can amend a petition, citizen petition. I don't believe you can amend it in that manner anyway, because it changes the intent of the article, and then anybody who is not here does not have the chance to think of that. That's your call, but.
Well, my parliamentarian is going to check on this, but those who are here are the ones who have an opportunity to vote one way or another on the amendment and the article.
But they read the warrant, assuming that's what we were going to be voting on.
And I hope anyone who read the warrant and read that article and is concerned about it is here, and I think you are. One moment.
I have one quick question. We were working all right in the town hall as it was. Did you call MMA and ask for them to come and do an inspection, or did they ask?
The inspection has been posted on the town's website for 2 years. It's still there. And it covers all 5 floors or levels. It starts in the basement, goes all the way to the attic. This is my copy. I've highlighted everywhere where it suggests that we seek the guidance of a registered engineer, certified and licensed in the state of Maine. All of these things need to be addressed. We can't piecemeal it. So,
That was not my question.
did we ask them to come in?
Yes.
We asked them to come back after they
COVID,
they
too.
initially came. What happened is they came and we failed this inspection, and they told us that eventually we would get to the point where we'd have no insurance. COVID bought us some time, and then we knew we were coming out of COVID. We wanted to know what our situation was going to be, so we asked them to come back and update us, and they did.
So you didn't ask first?
No, the initial visit was, they did it on their own, and they found these issues. We did ask for a follow-up because we wanted to know, because they could come in at any day, and as it turns out, they did pull our coverage, so.
Yes, sir.
So, many years ago, I did a citizen's petition in this town for one thing or another. There was a typo in there. It had to go in and be voted on, even with the typo. And that came from the same select board at the time.
Okay.
Well, just to clarify, neither the moderator nor the deputy moderator knows of any reason and can find no reason why that a citizen's petition cannot be amended at the town meeting. So therefore, with that in mind, we are discussing the current proposed amendment to Article 36. Excuse me, 35. Yes.
I think we need more discussion before we move on that motion to amend that article.
We will have discussion. That's one reason I'm here, to give Senator Davis a break. Yes, sir.
You're doing a good job.
Can we include the verbiage that all of the pages are encompassed in that, not just?
That's not what the amendment was, I don't believe. It was
Well, that's what a full-blown engineering analysis would be. It would be from the basement to the roof. Yeah.
Okay. It would be.
No, it'd be the whole building. It'd be exactly what she was asking about, what it would take for everyone.
Let's let the person who made.
So it would be employing an engineering firm to, go through the entire building and give us a comprehensive plan of, pardon me?
Yeah, are they gonna do linen? Are they gonna be able to get into the building that we just said we couldn't get into? Now they can.
Yeah, meetings there.
I already know.
You guys have meetings there all the time.
They're being sarcastic.
Yeah, they're being.
Yes, obviously, the select board would have the authority to let an engineer into a municipal building. They would.
Okay, one at a time, yes, ma'am.
Just when we were looking into all these numbers and things, did anything get brought up about the old A.E. Robinson's building right next to our town garage that we could make into nice?
That's not germane to this item. That would be something to bring up.
Actually,
Steve, field permit.
she actually.
I can comment on that. 2 weeks ago, I met with a local engineer and a concerned citizen as well, from Sangerville, Jeff Libby, and an engineering firm, an engineer at a firm, and we went through the entire A.E. Robinson building. Right now, the quote that we're getting from them is $350 a square foot. It's exactly it's approximately 3,000 square feet. So that would be to bring it up to Tier 1 municipal insurance, which is what we have to have as a municipality for people to be able to come in and for us to run the town. So we pretty much, I don't even know whether we ended up getting that in writing yet. Not yet, but.
Didn't say the cost.
We did, pardon me? So if you do the math, I think it's $1.2 million to, and that's not including the purchase of the building.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have anything indicating that $100,000 would actually cover that study?
Hold on. If we could have quiet, I can't hear the lady myself. Yes.
Sorry, I was trying to be loud enough. Do you have anything actually indicating that $100,000 would be enough to cover that study?
No, I do not, and it may be more.
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me the engineering firm you're going to plan on using?
Do you have a name of an engineering firm that you might use?
We have not dialed that.
They haven't gone that far. Yes, ma'am, in the green.
So I was on both cities, and there's been 3 or 4 different numbers spit out regarding an engineer's report. First we heard $35,000, and then we heard $16,75. Now it's $100,000. So
that's how
where is this writing?
Does anybody have
You just keep spitting out numbers.
firm number on the engineering?
We do not have a firm number on the engineering, and until no, we don't. And I will say that construction numbers and firms like engineering firms that are doing these bid packages, it's just getting more and more expensive as we spin our wheels.
Yes, ma'am.
I won't hurt you, I promise. I guess I sit here and I'm a little frustrated. 2 years ago, this will be the 3rd town meeting that I have been to and have asked repeatedly, please, we have 3 things that we could do. We could either go into the old town hall, the A.E. Robinson building, or build new. I've asked and asked and asked in the annual town meetings, can we please get a presentation with some numbers on it for something so I can feel as though I'm educating myself and making the proper vote? We have asked over and over and over, we've never gotten anything. I agree that we constantly ask the board, respectfully, for numbers and figures, and we continue to get lip service. It's always, you're hearing it out of their mouths, and I'm not by any means saying that you're not being truthful. It's just that I would like to see it. If we did the reason why we're here, I go back to why are we here in the first place, and the whole town fighting, and we're all friends and families and neighbors, and it shouldn't be like this. It's because we were moved out of our town office, and it wasn't our decision. This kind of lies at your feet a little bit. You made the decision, and I know it could be on the insurance company and all of that. I think we should have held the town meeting. That way you guys could have put it back on us if we made the wrong decision as to where to go. Where do we need to go? So I today, and I'm sorry, love Uncle Jerry, but I think I'm going to vote no on all of them. I think that it's great that now we have a new selectman, we've got some fresh eyes, some fresh ideas, some fresh perspectives, and we need to go back to the drawing board and get figures in our hand for the A. Robinson building, for the town hall, and for a new building, so that we can all look at it and go over it and see what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I'm back.
I'm going to touch back on the engineering studies. Is it because it's a family member?
Gentlemen here.
I am the engineering studies. In 2023, we spent $25,000 on engineering studies. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh, I didn't hear what he said.
That $25,000 used for?
Where?
We don't have an engineer's report from 2023.
Where is that in your,
It's in the handout that apparently was a misprint. We've already clarified that this is the proper page. Earlier tonight,
Yeah.
Paula did that for us.
Yep.
So we spent $25,000 on engineer, where?
There's different levels of product. Jeff has talked to a couple engineering firms. If you're going to do a full-blown bid package, I'm sorry, did you want me to talk?
I just point out Jeff wasn't here in 23.
No, Jeff has been.
Let him finish his answer.
Jeff has been working with some engineering firms, getting numbers on a full-blown bid package for the entire building. We've never done that. We had an engineering firm out of Old Town look at just the foundation issue, okay? And they charged us to do that, and some of that money was spent there. So there are degrees of engineering. But if we do the full project, Jeff, you said it's somewhere, what, $45,000, $50,000 maybe? So that's what we're talking about. Totally different.
Doesn't really answer the question. Where was all of that money spent?
We did some engineering for just the foundation.
Study, that was it, $25,000.
Correct.
Yep, for just the foundation.
And that came in at 600.
So, you know, I don't live in Sangerville, but your money is really, really important. And I know the feelings in this town are really strong. And when I call Portland and ask an engineering group to come up here, oh, that's Angerville. And we should be Angerville, but this would be what I propose. There's been 3 different people we've had look at the building, and that bid could go anywhere from, if Rufus McNaughton's here, you could probably back this up for me. We really, if it was my money, I'd get a full engineering degree. They're gonna come in, they're gonna look at the building from top to bottom. Yes, they're gonna poke a couple holes in the wall because they wanna see, is it foundational issues? Is it structural issues? Is there too much weight on the roof? Is the slate too heavy for the building, for the age it is now? That will all come out in that report. Then they can take that report and give it to bid people and get a number for you. You don't have to accept those bids, but you'll have an actual number of roughly what's it gonna cost to fix that building. It's a beautiful building, and it's the heart of the town. And but I think you need real numbers, and that's just my opinion. I'm not a town resident, but.
So I noticed that our select person sort of wanted to amend this article and call for like a full engineering study, but I think it would be important to bring to everyone's attention that if we do choose to go that route, there also needs to be a large amount of transparency in who we're choosing.
for an engineering firm. It shouldn't just be you guys choosing whomever to get the results that you might be looking for to influence this process. So I would like to just bring it to everyone's attention that it might seem like a good idea, but there's also a lot of layers that go with that to make it a responsible decision.
So, before us right now is an amendment to the article. Any further discussion? Yes, sir.
Could someone clarify?
Stand up.
Stand up.
Could someone clarify to get Tier 1 insurance back from the municipal building that we have? And I'm certainly for, if we can do it in a cost-effective manner, I think we should. But to get our insurance back, are we in fact required to have an engineering firm come in and look at this process?
So the question that's been asked is, to get the building back to where it can be insured, is it required to have an engineering firm in order to get there?
Yes.
The answer here is yes.
So are you saying that, so if we go with the $440,000 to restore it, and they put all that money into the building, there's no guarantee that it, because it's not, there's no guarantee that we can insure it, or MMA will insure it, correct? Because it has to be engineered.
That's absolutely correct. And it's important that all of the items need to be addressed. You can't just do the basement or just do the first floor. And MMA recently communicated that with us, and in fact, the ad hoc committee got that communication as well. So the balconies have to be addressed. Everything has to be addressed. You can't just pick and choose. Otherwise, we're not going back in. So, or we're not going back in with coverage, I should say.
Yeah.
If memory serves me correctly, a few years back, we talked about when we had to leave the town hall that we were going to be required to have an elevator to provide access for disabled and handicapped people, as well as elderly like myself. So if we went back into that building, would we have to have an elevator? Is that a state law that we would have to have access to all of those floors, or are we just talking about just the first floor?
I can answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Only if they use the second floor.
So as to the elevator, I can't answer that question, but I can answer this question. If you could put $440,000 into the building, the
Sprinkler? No, elevator?
excuse me, I'm losing my mind here. Fire marshal's office requires 20% to go into ADA. So if there's gonna be $440,000 for the building, you're gonna have to come up with $80,000 to go into ADA. That $80,000 could go into an elevator. That $80,000 could go into paving. That $80,000 could go into railings. Anything to do with the ADA, we'll have to put that 20% in with that amount of money. If stuff should go bad in the handbag, and we have to get into over 40% of the building, then the state fire marshal's office requires us to bring it all up to code. So that's why I say it'd be important to spend a little bit of money, get an engineering degree, and find out what we really got.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry, lady in the purple.
Is the current building that the town offices are in now, is that compliant with all insurance requirements, tier 1? That's the question.
It's not our building.
We don't own it, we're renting. It's,
No, the answer is
So exceptions can be made? Can exceptions be made then? Obviously they can. Yeah,
I
okay.
asked the insurance company.
no, they can't.
So,
No, they
the
can't.
building the question was asked, what about the building that's being used now? Does it meet the insurance requirements? The answer that was provided was, the town is renting that building, it doesn't own it.
That is basically my question that I wanted to ask, but she has already asked. How in compliance are you in the building that you're in? Do you have sprinkler systems? Do you have a private room for meeting with people? And all the other requirements that you're required to have versus what you had there. And the ad hoc committee was making a recommendation for getting the town office back into that building where they are in compliance with sprinkler systems, the safe, and a few other things. That was phase one of getting these people back into that building. Then to go on and do the balconies and all the stuff and all of that, that's something else. But right now, we'd like to see our town office in the town office, where we're in compliance with our sprinklers and our safe and some of our other stuff.
Other discussion on the amendment? Yes, sir.
I don't have a very good voice. Can you hear me? All right. I don't know how many people know who I am, but my name is Richard Dobson. And I'd just like to give you the way I feel right now. All of these numbers that's going around, they're all flexible. You're not comparing apples with apples. Me personally, I need more information on solid prices on this, that, or this. And compare apples with apples so that we can make an intelligent decision instead of playing guessing games and just wondering what to do and confused and not getting full answers from anybody because one reason or another, either they don't know or not comparing prices equally. I just feel like I don't have enough information, solid information to make an intelligent choice today. So I would recommend what I feel is just vote no on everything, continue the process, try to get some accurate figures on exactly what it's going to cost to do this or that so we can make an intelligent decision. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, we have an amendment to the article on the floor. Any further discussion? Yes, somebody. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What I would recommend, whether you take,
Stand up, please.
whether you want to take the amendment or leave it at the 440, everybody wants to know all these numbers. The only way we're going to get the numbers is to have that engineering study done. And the only way you're going to get it done is to spend the money to do it. All the work the ad hoc committee did is great. Nothing against it, but it's not going to work. The engineer has to point all of this stuff out. He has to go out for bid for all of this stuff through approved contractors that he's going to sign off on when the job is complete. So in order for all of us to have a true number of what that's going to cost, that is the direction we should get to if you guys want that answer. So I would recommend either way. I truly believe the 100's enough. If you don't believe it's enough, deny that amendment and just pass through the 440. The very first thing that's going to happen when that 440 is approved, this engineering study has to be done. And at that point, that's when we're going to have the numbers. The board, Jeff included, will be on the board. We're going to know we just spent X amount of money out of that 440. This is the punch list and what it's going to cost. If the punch list is greater than what's left, the only way anything's going to happen at that point is to come back to you guys. So I would encourage, the discussion is great, but the only answer to this problem is to spend the money and get that engineering's report done.
For those who haven't been heard from, yes, sir.
I got a simple question. We've already got a report. It's in writing. It's been approved. On that report, what needs to be done? What says that you're going to bring in an engineer and he's going to change that report when it's already written?
It's an insurance.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we have an answer.
I think what we're talking about here is the document that you had showing the deficiencies.
That's an insurance.
Yeah, that's just an insurance review of the anomalies.
They have to be, they must have been an appraiser, but they also have to be an engineer in order to do that review and say, this is what you need to do. I am an engineer. I am a certified.
Sir, if you just hang back there and respond.
Fix the door.
You can continue if you want.
No numbers on that.
I have brain damage from bad motorcycle accidents, so I don't do it anymore. But I know enough, if I read that report, I can tell you some of what's right and what's wrong. And I don't charge nothing to do that. But you people want to just spend money to chase bad money. I understand that, but you've got a report, you can take it to an engineer and have him read it, and he'll tell you what it will cost you to do a report.
Thank you. Anyone else that hasn't been heard from? One at a time, please, ma'am. You have the floor.
I had a couple of questions, and a little bit since Peter spoke, but my understanding, when he got up and spoke, he referred to the page 48, the estimate that the ad hoc committee came up with. So the total they came and showed was 309 with that difference of $130,000+ if they needed the engineering report. So it's my understanding, and I just want to verify, that $440,000 includes up to $130,000 for a potentially very expensive engineering report.
That's right.
If it's necessary. So then that's all included in that one 440 amount if it's needed, is that correct?
Mr. Peters, did you hear that comment? So the question is, the monies that you listed when you went through your report, you had an amount significantly less than the 440,000. The lady says about 130,000. Is that intended to go towards an engineering study?
I am assuming if this article passes, we still have to work with the select board. It's the people saying what they want, and it's up to the committee and them to do it. Engineering study? Yes. I think it's probably a necessity. Whether or not it has to be to utilize the whole building, that's a question for an engineer. So I'm not debating that. But if the article passes, we obviously, first thing we'd probably do is engineering study. If the cost is going to be more than this $440,000, it's all over. We're not going to do it. We're not going to suggest it to the board that we do it. They're not going to recommend it to the people in the form of a warrant article. So there's no harm in the way that's written as far as the expenses are concerned.
Thank you. So
I agree with Jerry.
From what was said, well, the question was, is there monies in the $440,000 in the original article that would first account for an engineering study? The answer that the ad hoc committee has provided is that yes, there is. That in fact, the difference between what they have estimated for work that needs to be done for the first floor is less than by $130,000 that would account for getting an engineer involved. And Mr. Peters also stated that if you pass the article as originally written, they will first have to work with the select board to identify an engineering firm, and they will have to proceed with identifying what needs to be done, whether it's the first floor or all floors, the totality of the work needed, and then, if that is more than $440,000, that would end that project, because you have not allocated enough money to do it at this time. Yes, ma'am.
I agree 100% with Jerry Peters, spot on. So he's absolutely 100% correct.
Are you withdrawing?
So I will
Are you
withdraw.
withdrawing your amendment?
I wish to withdraw the amendment.
Who is the seconder of her amendment? Are you okay with her withdrawing the amendment? Will you withdraw your second?
I'm okay with her withdrawing her amendment.
Thank you. So, we're back to the original article.
Your fault.
Yes, ma'am.
That was Dale's.
I think no matter which way it goes, one thing I want to encourage the select board to do is to make this an immediate action. Because the building as it stands now is aging quickly because it is not occupied, and unoccupied buildings go down quickly. If things need to be done, I would almost say, starting, okay, on Monday, you start the action and get it going because time is ticking. This has been going on for close to 5 years. I've signed up 4 years in a row to be on a committee. It's time to be done. It needs to be done immediately. And I think I'm hearing from people that they're ready to hear facts, but let's get them quickly. Because that town hall is not going to wait much longer.
Is there anyone else who has not had an opportunity to speak to this issue?
That's
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding was that money was to do the downstairs, and we would try to get more funds with the 10 million, for instance, that the historical legislation that just went through, that they're going to be voting on in the fall, for that, and the grants for the upstairs, and fundraisers for the upstairs to pull all of that together. So not end the project after the 440, but go phase one for the downstairs. Get the engineering report. The downstairs foundation is basically finished. And the roof. And then there's just little stuff to fill in. So if we were going to do some of the other things, we could do that through that historical legislation that just.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
This discussion is about the wall.
Quiet, please.
It's about the heart of Sangerville, which is disappearing. And all the talk about money, whether it goes one way or the other, really isn't the issue. The issue is, do you want to keep that hall in this town as a historic monument to the two knights, to the history, or do you want to dump it? Because right now it's a dump. You abandon it, it's going to go downhill fast. This is a good first step to investigating, moving forward, to doing something positive. I will vote this.
We'll go through that. Thank you.
I'm just wondering if we can vote on the engineer that's going to look at the building. I know a few.
Oh, man.
So my understanding is, from what has been said here, the ad hoc committee will work with the Board of Selectmen to move this ahead. The engineering study will probably be the first thing that needs to be done. There is money in this $440,000 that will take care of that. And then, once that has been done, we'll see if they can proceed with repairs and keep the total cost under the $440,000. That's basically what I've heard from the select board now, and also the ad hoc committee. Yes, ma'am.
Can I get a confirmation on what you just said?
Stand up.
Excuse me.
Stand up.
Can I get a confirmation that you're telling me the select board will work with the current ad hoc committee to get through this and not hire or pick out their own little group to do that? Is that not what you said?
Yes, to confirm that they have agreed to that, that's what they said. Anyone else who hasn't had a chance to speak to this yet? Yes, ma'am, I think you have.
I just want to add like a few other things. If you look at the report, we also had wish list items, which obviously could be pushed back. So there is a lot of wiggle room in the up to thousand, so I just hope you vote to get it done. It needs to be done. We had to fight to just do a citizen's petition to even get this in a discussion. It's been shot down so many times, so we need to just get going because with the rain getting into the roof and the freezing in the winter, it's gonna go fast. We can't wait for another solution next year.
That's true.
I waited to express this opinion because we are a town of people who are older. We are a town in Casco County, which is one of the poorest counties besides this city. And I keep hearing about our heritage and our heart is this building. And I agree, it's a gorgeous old building. But I don't believe it is the town's responsibility to save it. I think that we need to look at, all of us, are our kids here? Is that who we're saving it for? Are our grandkids here? Do they want this building? We have fixed costs in terms of we have to pay for our schools, we have to pay our county bill, we have to keep our roads fixed so that we can all drive on when they get to work. And I think we need to come up with an option outside of town funding to this. I'm not sure we can afford it. I think we need to. Just because we want it, just because it's gorgeous, I can see it would be wonderful to have the Historical Society in there, to have a library of the historical texts that we have, to have a computer for doing genealogy, whatever. But what are we going to use this building for once we fix it? Okay, we need downstairs at the town office. Are we ever going to need that upstairs again? You're not gonna have places, I mean, that's what that whole big stage is for, but you're gonna go to Centerville. Just play basketball up there, I mean, it doesn't fit the needs anymore, so I think we need to search our hearts and see if we can afford it. What are we saddling the next generation and the next generation with? And are they even going to appreciate that?
The question of getting hungry.
Motion has been to move the question. Do I have a second? Okay, now that requires a two-thirds vote to end discussion and move the question. All those in favor? Okay. Opposed? We'll move the question. The article before us, Article 35, to see if the inhabitants of Sangerville, Maine will authorize the town to allocate up to $440,000 from the town's reserve funds to be used to do renovations to the town hall building. With a one-year goal, the renovations will be focused on obtaining municipal fire, hazard, and liability insurance, and reestablishing the use of the first floor for the town office, voting place, and community meeting space. All those in favor?
I make a motion to pass over this article.
Motion is out of order. We are going to have a paper ballot, I apologize for that. So, the paper ballot, one vote per person. Yes, you accept Article 35 as originally written and stated. No, you oppose it.
Here you go. Line multiplied. Thank you.
Because this tells me they don't even want to spend it. If we put this down, that's saying they don't even want to spend $1,000.
That's why I'm not going to vote no. I want it to pass.
You want it to pass?
Yeah, thank you guys finally put the real number up. It's never going to
I fully agree with Brian. So we're never going to get it.
And I think Brian would, if she knew what,
Right.
she would say, you're right, it's not going to end.
Well, but I think even her.
No, it's not. And that's why I'm on the left. You get an engineer in there that says, no, that's 600 grand for the foundation. We stopped. Yep.
I think you know my husband, Luke Weber.
Correct.
Correct. Yes.
And I did?
Soon, next weekend.
It's in a nice plastic container.
5 o'clock. I said, I'm not gonna get any before 5.
He got 11 All right, we're voting.
I'm not voting at all. They don't need me. They don't need my
It's a nice town. It is. It's got good people, got talent. What are you cooking? You cooking pie?
I was on a project and I said, I gotta go, girls. And I couldn't stop home. So
I know, and it's repeating the same thing.
But yes, I do
They keep getting what they want, but we're still back to that. Right back to their report. That's right.
Wow, they're
gonna get it.
Yeah, so there's gonna be some bright light shine on this
Oh
project.
my God, I couldn't go beyond that.
We got one more question.
Isn't it like the same as what's going on? Is it like the same as the same question? No, that's a typo.
There's an insert.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Take that one.
Oh, this one is not yet. Are you sure? Yeah, I'll just read it. It's our question. Oh, okay. Very good. I'm going to vote no on that today. Today? Because I just want to see that engineering. I'm going to go with it. But they're going to vote it in on that. That's how
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Are you leaving? No, you're set. You're right. No, I'm going to see him anyway.
Okay.
We get to do this whole thing again?
Did you take off yesterday?
What's that?
Did you take off?
Yes. Yeah. It was good.
Dexter?
No, Palmyra.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
What's that? No, I don't.
They don't listen. How many times do we have to say that we have to address the whole building? And they just won't listen. So they're gonna find out. Yeah. And you know what? I think whenever that number comes in, there's still gonna be a group of people say we don't believe it.
Cheapest place to go for that happens. They already got the blueprint for the box.
To me, it only makes sense.
And we didn't even touch the fact that they ignored the Department of Engineering 20 years ago. That's why we had
Well,
the
I was going to say that we're going to get.
No, it's just, but that's the reality. That was an honest mistake. I'll say that. Right. So let's not do it again. Let's learn from our mistakes. That's good.
Okay, I guess I'll vote.
All who wish now voted. All votes are in. Close the vote. Count the vote. Ballots will be counted. If I could, I just would like to say, I think we owe these ballot clerks a little bit of appreciation for their time.
Mary doesn't know.
She's texted me a few times.
We will wait for the last time. We will need to wait for the results of this one so you can have that information. We'll work on the last time.
I can tell you, I'm ready for the rain. For you, it is.
It's just amazing how they're so conservative and really like, we're like, we run the tightest budget anywhere. Anyway, I don't know why you guys are gonna go without. I mean, you'll probably, your next special, you just add it all back in. Because otherwise you're not gonna.
No, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my God. That's not gonna happen. He's a big guy. I don't know. Yeah, it's a big guy. I see him in Robinson's all the time. Looks like a welder. Looks like a welder. Well, Mike, thank you for your guidance. Hey, I enjoyed working with you. I think you're going to be a good fit. You can stand it.
Yeah. It's all gonna calm down. It's all gonna be fine.
That is what this study will help.
We should be standing behind you, rubbing with that. Oh, it's gonna be okay.
You're doing great. I think we're in good hands. I do. Honestly, I do.
Yeah, I just
Thank you.
You know what's good back.
She's very confident. I'm pretty sure, because we went through this with Chris Rouse.
Yes.
Paul.
Mike, hey.
That's what they're doing. Yep. What's that? No, I know. It's locked up. I want you to know. That's it. Yeah, it's my wife. You guys can avoid it. That's probably right.
Okay. If I can have your attention, please. We'll move on here. Article 35.
He loves doing that.
Article 35. The tally is in. The vote is 121 yes in favor of the article, 27 no opposing the article. The article passes. One article remaining, Article 36.
Yeah.
In order to move the article, I will need after I read it, I will need a motion and a second on the motion. Article 36. Shall the town of Sangerville appropriate reserve funds in order to build a new town office with a community room on town-owned land? The total cost of the project is currently estimated at $500,000. The board will seek congressional funding for at least 50% of the project, but could be awarded up to 75% of the total cost. A yes vote shall cap the maximum out-of-pocket for the town at up to $250,000, with all additional money coming from the grant money. If the federal funding is not a minimum of 50% of the building cost, the project will not advance recommended by the select board. Do I have a motion? Motion's been made. Do I have a second for the motion to move Article 36? Second. Been made and seconded. Discussion.
How come there are two? Sorry.
Any discussion on Article 36? Yes, ma'am.
How come there are two Article 36?
The flyer.
There is only one Article 36.
It's on a flyer. The book has a misprint.
It's on the added sheet, not in the book. The book is a misprint. You have an added sheet with Article 36 on it as I read it. That's the article we are doing that language.
Steve?
Yes.
I'll explain our point of view.
Please.
This is essentially the last shot at getting a congressionally funded building. It's similar to what we attempted to do in December. We got some feedback that people felt like, some people felt that we should try to get the money first as opposed to committing the town to the building. The reason we did it that way in December was, Jody spoke to the senator's office, the more committed we were to this project in terms of we're going to build this no matter what, the more likely we were to get funding. So that's why we worded it that way. Is this optimal wording? No, it isn't. But it's better than nothing. The way this is worded now, the only way this happens is if half of this building is paid for by the federal government. If we don't get free money, it doesn't happen. And this is probably our last shot at this. So 50 cents on the dollar to build a brand new building, totally efficient, top of the line technology. If we don't get it, we don't do it. That's it.
Any other discussion or debate? Raise your hand. Discussion or debate? Yes, sir.
My brother Ralph McNaughton, he's in this business of building municipal buildings, state buildings. This is what he and his son, that's what they do. They came into a meeting here a month or so ago, Ralph did, and they got to talking about it. And he's currently doing, my brother's currently doing the Corona Fire Department. And they got to talking, discussing this building and building, the size of it, everything. And my brother came right out and told the board, you cannot do it for what you're suggesting. It's going to be at least twice as much. I'm looking closer to $1 million. I'm not sure where this figure of $500,000 might work specifically. This is what he said. Again, this is what my brother does for a living. He's been in business for 45 years. And, you know, the board should have taken advantage of his knowledge. So they chose to dismiss him. So that's it.
The number that we used in December came from Plymouth Engineering. And we simply just increased it for inflation to 500. But if you're right and we can't build it, then we don't build it. So this literally is, we have nothing to lose. If we could build this thing for 250 grand, we probably ought to do it. But that's up to you guys.
I have a question about this. The last article was looking at having the town office put back in the town hall. If this were to pass, does that now put us on two routes for where the town office would go? Or does it negate any kind of effort to put the town office back into the old town hall?
If this article passes, you will have passed both articles, and both articles will be acted upon.
Potentially could be active.
Yeah. I can speak to that.
Go ahead.
The town's attorney, there's a letter from her in your town report. The scenario that Diane has just described, it would then be up to the select board to determine which direction they go with the two. If you have congressional funds,
Speaker has the floor, please.
That's, to answer Diane's question, the select board would then decide whether they were gonna proceed with that town hall in that old building, so.
Yes, sir.
We'd still have a free building.
Town office gonna be built.
I didn't hear the question.
You have a location for this building?
Oh, on town land. We own 25 acres in town here. If we are successful and we get the 50-cent match, I'm sure the select board will create a committee that would help with design, the look. Somebody talked about maybe even integrating some components or the look of the old building. All of that should be done by a committee. The location could be picked by a committee. All of that would be quite enjoyable to work on, I would think. So that's how you would get there.
Quiet, please. Yes, sir.
So basically, you're saying that it's basically, if we vote yes on this, it's gonna be your guys' decision what we do, not ours.
No, that's not true. It won't be me anyway. It'll be Jeff and Dale and Jody.
Any other? Quiet, please. Quiet. Gentleman has the floor. Please stand.
Is there an ability to amend it so that we have the final decision instead?
Yes.
You can offer an amendment if you wish.
For
what?
The final decision maker.
What, I didn't hear.
So, the gentleman wishes to amend this so that the town will have the opportunity to make the final decision on which path goes forward first. So that would require a special town meeting.
Yeah, I would think that you guys are gonna have that.
And I would, Mr. Town Manager, you agree with that? That would take a special town meeting?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. I mean, you guys are gonna.
Amendment has been made to add to this article that the final decision on the first, correct me if I'm wrong, first action that would be taken would be decided by the town voters. Is that correct?
Renovation of the old town hall.
Gonna have to come back with the number.
Yeah, you're gonna get the number.
Come back with the number. Okay.
I don't think you can do it in the article.
No, you can't do that.
No.
So I'm hearing that this amendment is probably out of order for this particular article. We've already voted on the other article. Any other comments on this particular article as written?
Yep.
Discussion? Yes, sir.
I motion we move the question.
I agree.
Motion been moved to move the question. Second. All those in favor? Opposed? This will be a written ballot as well. So, let me, hold on, and make sure we all know what we're voting on. Article 36, shall the town saying will appropriate reserve funds in order to build a new town office in the community. Hold on. We need to pass out more ballots. The total cost of the project is currently estimated at $500,000. The board will seek congressional funding for at least 50% of the project, but could be awarded up to 75% of the total cost. A yes vote will cap the maximum out-of-pocket for the town at up to $250,000, with all additional money coming from the grant money. The federal funding is not a minimum of 50% of the total cost. The project will not advance. A yes vote passes this article. A no vote will defeat it.
And then we can leave. I am so glad.
And they're hungry.
Yeah, our stomachs growling.
Yeah, it's, at least for certain
And this will pass. I voted you in for the next town manager.
I think she did a better job than the last couple. Doesn't take much. How's it going?
Huh?
I said, how's it going? What did you get yourself into, you silly? What are
How's it going? Time is it? Quarter after. Oh, I could probably
Yeah, no. Sam, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna. You
cannot do it.
You cannot transfer. Okay. All you do is the votes and you
No, you need to stay here. People like you. Well, I don't think you have no public works department.
So I think it's all good.
Anybody out there, please do the
It's basically
All voted? Close the ballot box?
Be ready. That budget guy, Sam Bell.
back to 16. I'm gone from 10 to 16. Friday to Thursday. But Wednesday, we're still on either Monday or Wednesday. I'm going to Boston on Tuesday. You want to do Monday?
I think it's going to have to be the top. We can come up with taking $70,000 out of that budget.
Unless we just run the town until we need more money.
I already feel relaxed.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Yeah, the level of anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what I always have is anxiety.
Yep. If you get it, you get vested in it.
You do. You do. And you know, you feel sorry for the people that don't get the whole picture.
Yep.
And so they're trying to sort.
They think they're involved.
Right.
Involved, like, just,
Right. They're trying to get up to speed and, you know.
And there's so little understanding of what our form of government is. They don't. You know, right down the road in Dexter, they have a town council. You don't get to say in anything. You just get to vote for them, and that's it.
And then you trust them.
If you don't like them, you vote for someone else.
That's right. That's right.
The level of involvement in this form of government is actually kind of sticky.
It is.
I can see why council's the way to go.
Yeah. And Dexter's always been town council.
I think so.
Almost over.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully you don't go one of them packs.
What's that?
Hopefully you don't go one of them packs. He's got money.
Well, I'm sure you've told him that he can't buy anything without going through you. That would be a write-up.
I don't want to see it transcribed. Oh my God. I told her that you will not transcribe this. Yeah, no kidding, no kidding.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's a good
So
point.
irritated.
Oh, boy.
Thank you for speaking. Takes courage to get up there.
Yeah, I might give her, first of all, we're going to, water her and everything else.
Appreciate it, Rick.
Yep, thanks so much for coming. Yeah, let's pick Wednesday. I definitely have so. Puts everything in perspective. Our friend, well, it's not That's what Rick said to me this morning. He said, just
He literally ran out of time. Like, he missed it by a few days.
Yep. Exactly. Then you say, okay, this all perfect. Oh my God.
This is cute.
I told Warren, he keeps growing, he's gonna be carrying him around.
I know. Get away.
He's approved.
That's Chris's
Your
point.
attention. The results are in for Article 36. Article 36 vote tally is yes, 39, no, 106. The motion fails.
How do you work with
Thank you very much.